if this shit works, just as like a last resort, because this is not the session to be fucking around. Okay. How's the volume? It's not too loud, I hope.
I think it's good.
Good.
No, you're good.
Alright, everything is. I thought it was a bit louder than it was supposed to be. Okay. We have a special volunteer to do the recap today. So, without further ado, Keo, you have the floor.
Alright. On the previous episode of... Why am I blanking? Desolate Creation.
Dragon Balls PP.
The party... Okay, yes. The party finished dealing with getting Dagny into the safety of the pressurized room, making it their way towards the bulkhead of the objective we were there for. Upon getting in there, we quickly shut the bulkhead behind us as we were being pursued. Making our way further into the room, we all stared at a honestly breathtaking visual. That's when people were spoken to by their respective entities, and from the pillars, which revealed a aboleth?
Abyssal.
Yeah.
Abyssal.
It's a variant of an aboleth, if you will.
In which it used these pillars and itself to ask everyone their intentions, essentially. Sensing the party had noble intentions, it's opened... Oh. What's up, Goat?
He's being shady.
Oh. After that, the party did open a dialogue with it in which we told it what our plans were to do with the power of it. It was weary, but silver-tongued members of the party managed to convince it to lend us this power, not without the also pressure of the Auroran Dawn busting down doors. They gave us the power of the lifeblood of a Sora. That's when the energy expelled from the room into each of us, granting us essentially a level up, but, well, 2 level ups. Yeah, tongue-tied. The power coursing through the lands, destroying inorganic and livening up organic. The party after that made their way back to the Praetor, in which we gained control and we used Erithal as the pilot. On our way back, there was a wave of cosmic energy that overwhelmed Erithal's control of the Praetor momentarily, sending the entire party essentially tumbling, but still on the Praetor. There were conversations between party members, heartfelt or just discussion, bringing new understanding to one another. Upon reaching the cliff face where the war room was, the party quickly made their way to said war room, meeting the Shire Guard elite, the members of the war room, people from Point Fireheart, and the chosen Sadrius along with Inquisitor Akoda, and Startographers Rylock and Genesis. They spoke about a plan to retake Highshire with a distraction force attacking from the front while Patrol 26 infiltrates from behind. But during that, the Startographers revealed that there may be a mole within Highshire.
Among Us.
The party, of course, wondered who it was, but that's not before a certain lich that the party had become familiar with showed their face. Tried to use their silver tongue to make a deal of some sort, offering assistance during this assault. Their words held some weight to some of the party members who decided to trust their gut, which is me saying they did insight checks, and felt that the Lich could not be trusted. Synandrea was, of course, naturally disappointed by this, but did leave. And Erithal walked up to Cobweb, put his hand over his eye, and broke the enchantment between Synandrea and the eye, letting out a blast of green necrotic energy.
Yes, yes, indeed.
And that's where we left off. But if y'all will give me a moment, I did have something prepared.
What?
Right. Yeah, to set the scene, that wave of this green, horrendous energy shockwaves out from Cobweb's eye socket and knocks those close to him over. And this horrid feeling washes over those who are affected. And you look towards Cobweb's eye, and there's a violent flicker that's coming from the gem. And Cobweb, you feel this. The gem previously had this cold feeling to it inside your head, but after this blast and the splitting headache is beginning to wear off a spell, it does feel a bit warmer.
Do I have the stage beam in?
Yes, you do.
Erithal will take his hand off of Cobweb's shoulder after casting the spell, still standing, even though the others were knocked down. And he stands and turns towards the crowd and begins a speech. I've seen our outer kingdoms fall. I've seen friends killed, noble soldiers felled by the blades of the Roaring Dawn. I've seen how these monsters tear people apart, families apart. He does a quick look towards Dagny and then back towards the crowd. They tried to extinguish our flame, our light, our hope. I know that everyone here has lost someone, or even a part of themselves, and that loss has become an extremely normal part of everyone's life. But they failed in that objective to extinguish our hope, because within every single one of you, I can still see that flame. I may not be able to cure every wound or sickness that ails you, but I will do everything in my power to try, and to make sure that that flame within all of you burns bright. Bright enough that it blinds the Auroran Dawn and strikes fear into their hearts. They will learn that humanity is not a bug that they can just squash underneath their boots. They'll learn to fear us. We will retake High Shire. We will break the seal, and we will stop the Auroran Dawn. Not for the combinations of buildings that create the city of High Shire, but for its heart. As he gestures towards the crowd as a spell goes off. At 4th level.
Oh.
Everyone in the room
What
is
this?
focused on the words of Erithal that rings out. As that horrendous green energy lingering in the air slowly fades away, it is replaced by a new sensation, one of warmth. As Erithal weaves his words, this warmth intensifies, and you feel it uplifting, almost to a magical degree. The crowd, observing everything that had taken place, had a mixture of emotions, volatile and without consensus. Erithal, your words would be felt throughout everyone inside of this chamber, and you seem to have rallied them. It looks like you've livened up the crowd quite a bit, even in lieu of all this troubling news having just been announced by the showrunners moments prior. And everyone is affected by this spell, which I believe everyone gains 5 temporary hit points.
An additional 5 because 4th level.
Oh,
Oh, that's awesome.
10. And everyone has advantage on wisdom saving throws for the next hour.
Also, if you are hit by an attack, you have advantage on the next attack roll you make.
Awesome. Sweet.
Cobweb, you're reeling a bit, but you feel that the words coming from Erithal are almost resonating in the crystal in your head. So much so that whatever he did to this seems to be intensified as he continues to speak. And both Erithal and Cobweb, you have an understanding that the Eye of Sinadrea is no more. It's become something else.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
Blinding smite.
Upgrades, people. Upgrade.
Yeah, they have to make a con save or be blinded when you do an attack.
3d8 radiant. Holy shit. All right.
Yeah.
I have transferred some flashbangs to.
Let's go.
The 3d8's
God.
an additional damage as
God
well.
damn.
You still make a melee attack.
All right. Cobweb sort of shakes himself off. You know, Erithal, you know, I'm really big on men of the cloth. Religion never really spoke to me. I'm a man of physical pleasures. I like to drink. I smoke. And some other stuff, but that doesn't matter. For the first time, I'm feeling Zula's warmth. Or the first time I felt it this intensely. You're big, Erithal. You are. A lot bigger than I gave you credit for. As he pats him on his back.
Thank you, Lord Cobweb. But as we all know, you're still the biggest.
Well, I mean,
But
that
that was
goes without
very
saying, but anyway.
I've never seen you so humble, my lord.
Humble? What? No, I'm still the shit.
You
Alrighty.
certainly are.
To Cobweb and Erithal, both gain points of inspiration.
Now,
Yay!
with that being said, let's go crack some fucking skulls.
I thought you'd never ask.
It would be Sadrius who eventually speaks up and addresses everyone, seeing that there's been something of a break in the meeting, and perhaps that was for the best, given that this was a well-needed emotional reprieve.
You are wise in your counsel, Erithal. You would make a good chosen one day. That much is clear. Your words were needed here, given everything that we are about to undertake.
Thank you,
There's-
chosen Sadrius.
There's still much to consider. How we want to approach our home and take it rightfully so. The specifics can be arranged with us. Once we have a plan, a method of attack, we can diverge it to the forces of everyone around us, and hopefully everything will go smoothly from there. We've been brutalized. This fight is grueling. We can't as so much as resurrect anyone in the battlefield anymore. Assuming we even have the supplies, the Auroran Dawn has begun destroying bodies as they fall. This needs to end.
We will make it end then. And I'll look to the others.
Well, I suppose in terms of teams, for the actual distraction, Akoda should be a part of the lead. As for who's piloting the raider, as it were.
Akoda looks to you as you say that, and she has that ever-present steel gaze and slowly shakes her head. I was hoping we could diverge that in private.
Very well.
Sadrius, if you would excuse us. Genesis, Rylock, we shouldn't be long. They give all agreeing nods. There's talk within the crowd. Others of seeming importance are speaking up and talking further with Genesis, Sadrius, and there's a forum that's continuing about allocating forces, strategies, a number of questions that are all being slung around. There's a lot on the table, and everyone seems to have their own opinions. But, taking Akoda's lead, she would beckon you all to a nearby hallway that has a cleared room where each of you could file in, assuming you're going to be following.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
You all take your leave out of that larger room into some place that is a little more secluded, where more sensitive topics can be discussed without the riffraff of everyone around you having to have their say. And there's a smaller room that has a rectangular table with a total of 10 seats, and Akoda would take position at one of the far ends and sits herself down and puts her elbows to the table and puts her head in her hand for a minute, and she's rubbing her forehead. Politics. Tiring, am I right?
Very much so.
Yeah, never was one for words, really.
We've been fighting for 6 months straight. Take a look at my armor. It's plain to see. And you can see in this clear lighting, her armor is completely battle-scarred, chewed to pieces. Her red cape is tattered and has torn in many places, has holes sticking through it. Her armor itself has seen hell. But her herself, her hair, her skin, all of that show no signs of wear. Much like Sadrius, who was in a similar condition. And she continues to speak. Luckily, those who are of clerical persuasion and are closer to Zula than others are bolstered. We can simply keep fighting. But for those who are less acclimated to her light, it seems as though this effect is dampened. In truth, I've had a lot on my mind on how a breakthrough would be achieved. And it seems like we have our tools, but cartographers, I don't believe Genesis would steer us wrong. He spoke of a proxy to an angel within our ranks. I want to know what you all think of that.
It would definitely make sense on where they knew where to strike, and it boggles the mind that someone on the inside would betray us. But considering what happened to the Venerator,
It'd have to be someone we'd never expect. Someone no one would question. Otherwise, what's the point?
It's difficult. I've been fighting alongside Sadrius, Leonidas, and Athelos for all this time. They've been our most trusted allies. Ones who give inspiration and bolster those who have become weak.
what of the other chosen?
The other 4 have been inside of the kingdom beyond the Veil of Light. We have had no contact with them whatsoever. It seems like we can't contact them. This veil is more than something just physical. It's the spewing power of the pillar. Magic just simply can't go through it.
Whatever that praetor did, it affected the pillar somehow.
We've had theories on what it can do. We believe that praetor may have some innate ability to alter the structures of Helios. The pillar certainly changed, that's plain to see.
How so? Besides the light.
Well, it's more intense for one thing. Its power is overwhelming that of your standard arcane weaving of spells. All it did was get struck by that praetor. It's as if it shifted. Its silhouette is different. I'm not quite sure how, it just seems shifted out of place.
Has anyone ever been able to get beyond the Veil of Light?
None. It seems like we've been trying to get in just as bad as the Auroran Dawn. They've been trying desperately to get their praetor back. But it seems like that is just an asset in order for them to get ultimately into our inner kingdom. If we followed ourselves to the edges of the kingdom, the Auroran Dawn is reluctant to pursue. They have their priorities. This wasn't a random attack. There's an objective here. I believe that they seek the same thing as us. This seal, which gives power to the pillar, which gives word to Zula's radiance. It all adds up.
Possible that those 4 chosen may still be inside, and maybe they're perpetuating this veil of light?
Protecting it, perhaps.
I'm not certain. In any case, have you any inklings on who should be placed where? Granted, if you don't agree with a plan that we come up with, you are ultimately the key to all of this. You have a say in this, and quite a large one at that.
Well, obviously those that are tied to the Cartographer Corps will be making their way with the stealth team. I think the main concern is the Praetor. Cobweb was the first to use it with that, with the eye. It was sort of a bastardization of the process, but in doing so, it kind of tied him to the Lich. Thankfully, that's broken due to Erethal's involvement.
Let us hope.
Yes. Erethal was the next to pilot it, and while he seemed to do very well with it, his healing capabilities would be a boon to the group. Which would mean I had considered someone among the group that resided here. And I think after giving it some thought, I believe Thistle should have a chance to be a candidate.
I see. Your old friend. Thistle is quite capable. Were we not at war, he would be material to become an icon of Zula. He's a solid fit, I must admit.
Yes. But I want to leave the choice. I want to leave the choice to him first, though, because if he decides that he doesn't feel he is capable enough, then and Dagny will go ahead and turn to Jaxthal.
Yeah. I mean, if Goldilocks over there don't want to go, I'll go. But at the end of the day, I think it probably should be one of you guys, one of your people.
Right.
I could be useful with the gang here.
If fate has taught me anything, it's those who seem to linger around the members of Patrol 26 are interlinked with them in one way or another. We'd be fools to leave you anything more than just a whole unit. As far as I'm concerned, the 6 of you are the stealth team heading towards the seal. The ones who are really going to make a difference.
Would it be just the 6 of us, or would there be others?
I'm sure Sadrius would want to come with you and bolster you in whatever way he can. He's vital to have as an ally, but... And I say this with my utmost discretion, cartographers. I'm not certain.
Not certain? Of what?
If what the Startographers say is true, having a chosen in your company is a risk. I'm an Inquisitor. I'm used to rooting out any signs of heresy, any signs of traitors, any signs of those who would undermine everything that Highshire stands on. And I've been fighting alongside these chosen for 6 months. I trust them with my lives, but facts are facts. It's a risk.
Doubts.
I would say less so doubts, more so we should be playing our hand as carefully as we can. I think having all of the Chosen together with the Praetor, fighting at the point of distraction, is a much more convincing act to the Auroran Dawn than if there was one conveniently missing.
I think that is a good plan as well. Plus, with Sadrius, there'll be a lot less casualties with the distraction team.
Without us knowing who the actual mole is, whether it being someone who works closely with the Chosen, or is it Chosen themselves, it would be best to have them all together.
Correct.
Yeah. And the way I see it too, if he's with us, and, who knows if he's the traitor or not, you guys would have to deal with our choices in the matter. And people might not be accepting of those choices. So, even if, whatever, he is the traitor, it would make more sense in the public eye for you guys and your low merry band to make the choices. Because that's kind of a big one to imprison. Yeah, just get rid of, do something with them.
So, considering that this would not be the first time Sadrius has seen something of great power. You remember what we told you about what happened at the High Crucible?
Very clearly, yes.
And that was before he was the Chosen. If he's able to be swayed by a mere keystone, who knows what will happen when he's beyond the veil?
I'm not certain of this line of thought. It's deeply troubling. Prior to all of this conflict, we would lock people up for saying things like this. It's textbook heresy. But times are changing. They don't even have a jail cell to lock anyone into. And the word of a startographer is one with sway. That being said, having just the 6 of you on your own into a war zone you do not know is also just as foolish.
Do you have someone that could lead us who would know the way very effectively?
As I've said, we've been on the front lines for 6 months. I could personally escort you through the cities. The route that you'll be taking I actually know quite well. If I recall correctly, Valenterra's courtyard is in that area. It offers plenty of cover. We can find ourselves through the path of least resistance. That and my inquisitive eye, of course. If I see anything that's out of place, I'll be sure to call it out. I could take lead to make sure the path is clear. I'd rather them find me than you. If you would have me, of course.
I'll just sort of look to the group and I'll say, all those in favor of having Akoda part of the stealth team. And she'll raise her hand.
Madam Inquisitor, it would be an honor. As he raises his hand.
Of course, my lord.
Ah, come on.
Erithal raises his hand. Just nod at him.
Well, at the end of the day, me personally, I don't really know who the hell you are, so if they agree, I agree. Whatever works.
Fair is fair.
Disa will just silently raise a wing.
I suppose
Medivh?
that is the majority. If you have any other ideas between now and then, feel free to air them.
Is going on foot really the best idea?
Truthfully, going on foot may be just as dangerous as traveling through the skies. Those large structures are hovering overhead. Not to mention there are airborne monsters, even dragons. There's seemingly a bit of everything inside of this hellscape.
So you're attracting a lot of things then, that seal.
Most of what approaches our kingdom is cosmic crazed. They seem less interested in the seal and more so on just indiscriminately killing anything they see.
Opportunities.
Obviously, a war zone generates much noise, so as you can imagine, it doesn't take much for these crazed creatures to wander in and join the fight.
But another opportunity for them to feed.
Also, I did acquire something in one of the ruins of the cathedrals. I trust that one of you at least may have this of use, whoever it may be. And she does have like a battle pack on of sorts, like a jury-rigged backpack. There's a whole bunch of shit. And she would slide something onto the table to the party, and you can just tell by the way this golden gilded item presents itself with this ethereal halo over top that it is something of importance, significance, and she would explain what it does. Typically, we reserve this sort of thing to high clerics, but sitting on a crumbled shelf inside of a cathedral isn't going to do us much good.
He stares at clerically.
Is this circlet familiar to me?
You've seen this before, at least this rare style of circlet, once or twice. As she mentioned, high priests inside of larger congregations in cathedrals of Zula will have these on during ceremonies, particularly during fits of prayer. It's widely for show, this shimmering shield. It's very symbolic, although it does have a combat application, as you can see. If you're not wearing a shield, it gives you a +2 bonus to AC, while leaving your hand free.
So I pick it up and I spin it like a plate in your hand, like flip it over and over, and I stand up, go behind Dagny, and I slip it on her head. And everybody here, you're the most squishy when it comes to combat. I think you'd be more suited to this than anyone else we got here.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's probably the best bet.
Well, to be fair, the thing that mauled her was a dragon, so...
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
I suppose putting a little bit of bling to your look heading into a fight won't hurt either.
I suppose.
One final thing I will address. These Aurorans. They are predictable to a point. When fighting these avatars, aim for their minds. They seem to have a particular aversion for psychic assaults. I would argue that's the source of the tether that seems to form them.
That's another thing. The fact that they're able to control a praetor at all is kind of astonishing, given what we've learned. Apparently, the only ones judged worthy are humans themselves. I'm sort of hesitant to jump to any conclusions, but I think that our enemy may be a bit more than some sort of collective.
We had suspected as much. The Praetor, while in control, spoke to everyone shortly before blasting our pillar.
What?
We had it. That is correct. Perhaps you don't remember, given that you were blasted sky high, but it did speak words. And if I'm remembering correctly, it said something along the lines of, "Hear me, lowborn of the walls. By the will of the Twin Kings, we are humanity."
Humanity, and we have come to see this world freed.
So you do remember.
Twin Kings.
I think they're using some sort of telepathic bond. Some sort of spell that animates the ground and places their mind inside of it. That's why psychic assault works so well. I'm not
found
sure
that any form of anti-magic seems to crumble them to the ground on the spot.
possibly dispelling the bewitching effect.
Obosh, After he was resurrected, he had asked, "Have we talked to the second king yet?"
That he did. When he was resurrected, of course.
Could the second king be one of these twin kings he spoke about?
Well, it makes sense. So I suppose that removes any shadow of doubt. It appears that our human foes are... well... they want us dead.
Why?
They think that they're... Well, frankly, I'm not sure. Although...
Doesn't matter. Actions speak louder than words.
But
They're obviously hell-bent on our destruction.
They came here.
Which means they have a reason to seek the power they crave so much. They've been arcing from the northwest, the same place that the Omen descended. Perhaps one feeds the other.
Well, and maybe this is more conspiracy talk, but who knows if they landed? That impact itself might have awakened something that was already here, but was just dormant real far down.
We've noticed that cosmic energy does not play kindly to the magic they seem to incorporate. They're almost antagonistic with one another. I would suspect that they're not necessarily on the same side, although they are indeed linked.
If the planet is fighting back, of course we'd want to root out the problem. On the
In any
Isle of
case.
Contempt, Genesis, what's happening there, he said it's essentially the lifeblood of the planet.
I wouldn't know much about that. None of us would. But we never will. Not unless we focus on winning this fight first.
Yes. We have to get to that seal.
Quite so. I'll give you some time to yourselves. It seems like preparations are being made and strategies are forming. I'll leave this room for you to do whatever it is you need to do.
If you don't mind, I want to talk to Genesis before he leaves.
Naturally. There's a lot to consider. I won't overwhelm you. And if you have any ideas between now and when we leave, I'm all for considering them all the same.
Yes.
I have come to believe that those surrounded by this core are special for a reason. And Dagny, you've been with it since the very beginning. I don't think there's any coincidences in everything that's been happening.
No.
Well. And Nakoda stands up and gives a respectful bow. Now, I have a lot of questions to answer. Everyone seems to be more inquisitive than I am. Ugh, gods. And out she goes.
Alrighty. With that being said, with this whole group thing, it mentioned about being like bound to this core that you showed me earlier, probably
Yes.
be beneficial if I bind up to it or whatever too.
You're certain that's what you wish to do?
It seems like I'm already being associated with you, even though I've probably known you, like 2 days? And, I ain't really got nowhere much to go, or to do. And I've already been roped into this, I might as well just go along with the leash.
Dagny will go ahead and turn to Cobweb, Erithal, and Nadira and say, "What are your thoughts?"
Well, I think we might be forgetting something crucial. The core didn't react to him when he touched it. I don't know what that means, but if he's willing to take the risk, I'm not one to shun help.
I mean, I already tried once, like 15-ish years ago to join up. So, yeah.
Huh?
Oh yeah, no, they didn't want me at the time for due to high criminal activity
Oh.
from my record. And
I feel that one.
it doesn't look like there's any officials here to say no to that, other than you guys.
At this point in time, no, they can't. Aerosol?
We need every hand we can get.
Nadira?
I can't be the only shady bitch. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go.
In that case, Dagny will turn back to Jaxthal and kind of summon the Cartographer Core to her hand.
You raise your hand, and the Cartographer Core would have a ripple effect through the room as it is willed into existence.
Go ahead and put your hand on.
Oh, wait. Pump-Up's gonna take a few step backs, just in case. Go ahead.
Alrighty. He rubs his hands together. Let's do this. And he, like, basketball grabs it with both hands.
I'm also gonna back up. I'm already injured enough.
Grabbed it
You-
like
You grab hold of this very firmly, and there's a metal clang, and you see the crystalline spherical structure of the Cartographer Core would glow very brightly, and there's a ripple throughout the room that seems to quiet the crowd outside. Jaxthal, you feel something would grip you. Less so your physical self, but more so your ethereal self, perhaps your soul, whatever that may mean to you. And everyone else that's associated with the core feels it as well. He's been accepted.
Welcome to Patrol 26.
Alrighty, so does this little gang have a badge or whatever? Do I get a uniform? What are the benefits?
Anxiety.
Cobweb just sort of looks around the
I already got
room.
plenty of that.
Uniform? What the fuck? What gave you that idea?
I think after that's kind of happened, Dagny will go ahead and turn to Disa. I know when we first posited you being a part of the Cartographer Corps, you were very much of broken speech and little knowledge. And I think you've definitely come a long way since then. If no one has any objections, I think you would be the first, well, I won't say half being, but more primordial to say, to be a part of a cartographer patrol. As she will go ahead and present the Cartographer Core for Disa to touch.
Disa, will you accept?
I appreciate the offer. But no.
Why?
I've been thinking. In a way, this fight for your home is truly your burden. I have yet to find my place in this existence. That is not to say that I will not help you do this. I will. As I said, I like humans. But I also enjoy being free.
You intend to leave us?
I think you might be missing the point there, Dagny.
I understand what she's saying.
Like
She
I
doesn't want to
said,
be bound to anybody. She wants her freedom.
Yeah, she wants to spread her wings and fly and all that.
I think she's trying to explain.
like I said, I've been thinking. And the more I watch you, humanity, the more my thoughts stray back to my own kind. The harpies.
You want?
I would like to... I believe I want to help them become more like me. I was very simple. A simple, bestial life. But while a higher existence, a higher mind does bring strange things, not all of them are bad. I want to help them find their place as well.
I think upon hearing that, Dagny just sort of nods her head and will shunt the cartographer core away.
Though, of course, I do not know when or how I will begin such things. But I can say with certainty, I will not be leaving your group anytime soon. After all, there's so much more to see and learn.
Of course.
Well, I tell you what, if you ever do get around to, I guess, culturally uplifting your species, just don't forget to call, alright? I guess. And we are in your corner.
Yes.
Thank you. Truly.
Cobweb's like raising his hood, wiping away a tear. That didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about.
Some time would pass, and eventually there would be a figure that enters the room, seemingly directed by, you imagine, Nakoda, and a ghostly visage would come in with them. Genesis and Rylock enter your circle, and there is something of a nod in unison from both of them as they greet you.
Thank you for giving us some of your time before you have to leave. I suppose much of my queries were directed toward Rylock, but given his condition, I'm not sure if he's able to speak on his own.
Rylock will continue to be with you. He ultimately follows the Cartographer Corps. Therefore, despite being in a incorporeal state forevermore, he will follow you. His ability to assist is limited. However, he is a Sartographer and is capable of much, under the correct circumstances granted.
Is that why when I cast Sending to speak with him, I sort of felt it circle around back towards myself?
That is correct. Materialistically speaking, he only exists as an extension of the core.
So, what are you, some sort of, like, shit genie?
He exists in the ethereal plane. If you wish to address this facsimile as a ship genie, then by all means.
It would explain why we would see him from afar, and the next minute when we try to catch up with him, he's gone. You were simply leading the way, weren't you, Rylock?
Rylock nods his head a bit, and Genesis kind of acknowledges this and would seemingly speak on behalf as if he can hear him.
Rylock has served as something of a guardian during your travels. Given most of our kind are predisposed, Rylock is the odd man out, in layman's terms. There may come a time where he is able to influence your environment, but these circumstances cannot be predicted, and often depend on several factors. The science behind it will be lost on your minds, but do know he is with you in spirit to a literal extent. On the topic of our kind, there is one final address I wish to bring up with all of you.
Yes?
Yeah, fire away.
Five Startographers made our group. 5 Startographers opened the seal. There were 5 that made a difference in the world before the end times. By now, you have met 4 of them. Magnus, Siratov, Rylock, and myself. We fractured ourselves, so if any one of us were to fall into the hands of angels, they would not have a complete picture. We trusted that those we can rely on, those with the core, would find all of us, and only then get a complete picture of the state of the world. I cannot direct you to the one remaining, but I have observed this siege on your kingdom, to the core, through memories. I have reason to believe that Startographer Fulcrum may not share our views, and may not have your best interests in mind.
That much is certain.
Where she may manifest in your travel is indeterminate. But just know, at this point in time, you have everything you need to open the seal. Ideally, you need nothing from her. But should you encounter her, be wary.
Understood.
She was the only one who had different views than the 4 of us. Our plan was not of consensus.
Well, what was it that she did?
Indeterminate.
You see Genesis go a bit still. The gentle floating of the soul lanterns on chains lock up in place for a second. You think that Genesis had tried hard to answer your question, but ultimately was blocked or unable, or something occurred where he simply couldn't.
Well, if we do see her, it would be nice to put a face to the name. Been hearing that name, and it's been rolling around in my head ever since I found out the names of the 5 Startographers. But one thing I must consider is something that I feel has made my own destiny indeterminate. And she is going to reach into the bag of holding and pull out the portrait of her mother. This is my mother. I grabbed it from our home estate. I intended to just hold on to it so that it was never lost, so that I would never forget her face, but it seems she left a gift for me, either her or myself, when I was in the throes of my own madness. As she'll turn the portrait around and show the mirror,
Aha. Genesis looks at this, and you can tell Rylock's expression is equally intense. And although they do not bear faces, you can see that there is a bit of intrigue, perhaps a tinge of surprise in both of their subtle movements. And eventually Genesis speaks again.
It seems your mother was interested in our work.
She was?
To great effect, judging by the construction of this mirror alone. It contains strong divination. It seems as though this can glimpse into the future, if only but a sliver of information can be grasped.
Is that why the Angel of Death came after her?
What?
My father, from secondhand account, he told me that she was working on something to the point of almost near madness. It made her crazed. She was trying very hard to work on it, but she felt like she was running out of time, and the day he went to see her, the Angel of Death appeared. It not only destroyed her, but the facility she had created to work on her research. Nothing was left. But this mirror, I keep seeing myself changed. The plaque, and this vial, as I pull out the vial that had Rin's lifeblood in it, it says S. Silverhide. The S stands for Startographer. In the throes of our madness with visions of the future, Rin made this for me, so that I wouldn't lose any of the items she had made for me. Why was my mother seeing me as a Startographer? Did she really believe that?
Rylock has a bit of fright in his body movements, which is the first time we've ever seen someone like a Startographer demonstrate this. Rylock puts his hand onto the shoulder of Genesis, and you see that the sigil on Genesis's faceplate begins to erratically flash. There's light that is exchanged between the lanterns that are floating in tandem with him, and the chains rattle. And you almost watch as the hundreds of souls within him begin to do flips and exchange positions and erratically go back and forth as if an eruption from a crowd, an argument internally is in full swing, and you hear it give off this unsavory noise that echoes through the room.
Yeah, look, man, don't have a stroke or whatever.
We need to build a consensus. This is new information.
If my mother hadn't been killed, would she have become a Startographer like you?
It seems your mother may have had particular insights into our work which we went to great effect to conceal. How she achieves this is not clear. One thing is for certain, she had her mind set on a certain path to the future. So much so, it garnered the attention of the Angel of Death. It seems the journey you are about to partake in is far more treacherous than originally anticipated.
I don't understand. But
We are running out of options. We are being forced to act without understanding the bigger picture. This is by that creature's design.
That creature? What creature?
The Angel of Death is extremely cunning, manipulative, influential. We have reason to believe that it was the creature that orchestrated genocide. It seems to have a sway over other angels.
That's impossible.
So we believed.
Could something else be controlling it?
It is unclear. It is a function of Helios. The only other explanation, if this angel of death is in fact something to be controlled, the only thing that fits is that it is being controlled by Helios itself, or at least an older function of it.
I think Dagny just sort of clutches to the portrait as much as she can and kind of collapses in her chair.
I suggest you do well to identify those who may be a traitor among your midst. Should you fail to identify them prior to opening the seal, you are endangering not only your people, but the entirety of this planet.
No pressure.
Yes.
You have an inkling of who it might be? I mean, surely you have a theory.
Unfortunately, I don't have anything that is more than rumor, theory. And one man's theory to another is equally dismissive without concrete evidence.
All rumors have some sort of smidgen of truth to it.
That is not certain. Rylock had lent the theory on your chosen being not as they appear. With them being 7 in their numbers, and being allegedly interchangeable, it is entirely possible that would be your primary to look. Far be it be for a traitor in your midst to not be the sovereign king of a kingdom, but one among 7. Should the facade fail, you simply replace one chosen with another, and the illusion is restored.
There were 8. Trogrim was killed by the Praetor during the siege.
You saw him die?
With a great beam of light. Him and Vishanti.
What if that's not as it seems?
You think Trogrim is...
I'm not accusing, but I mean, it'd be one hell of an exit strategy.
If anything, Trogrim was the one who was the one out on the fields the most. The 7 usually stuck to the pillar somewhat.
Mm-hmm. Out of everyone, he fought the hardest against
He
the
did.
Praetor.
Yes.
But then wouldn't that mean he's also one of the easiest to get? He's out on his own. He ain't hidden in the big city surrounded by guards or whatever. You just snatch him up at any time.
But the Praetor made him bleed. It killed him. He disintegrated.
Not even ash remained.
Disa will go ahead and create a minor illusion of just a vague, angelic-looking thing, a person on the table, to kind of just waltz around and say, I think things not being as they seem is a possibility. After all, I can do that. And your enemies are no doubt stronger and in greater numbers than I am. It is a possibility.
You're saying it was an illusion?
Maybe. I wasn't there. I do not know.
I mean, it's a good point.
It's possible, but extremely unlikely. The the fact that it could fool all of us simultaneously, not to mention everyone else.
Not even dust left, you said.
Yeah, that's a giveaway on its own.
Disintegration usually leaves behind ashes.
Maybe they weren't killed, but
Grievously
Captured?
wounded?
or captured.
Yeah. Leads to, my point. At any point, that would be seems like a good way to do it. Put on a big light show.
It could even be perhaps a teleportation disguised as an attack.
You are accepting the burden for which we Stontographers failed. You must succeed where we did not. We failed to anticipate our enemy, and for that it cost us the world. The burden to rectify our failure is now on your shoulders.
Yes.
My time has come. I cannot afford to mingle here any longer. Rylock will be with you, but for me, a more pressing issue, if such a thing even exists, awaits me back at the Isle.
Go. Safe travels.
May the cosmos guide your actions. Good luck, cartographers.
And with that, he's gone.
I have an idea.
Yes.
It is the Chosen who are under the most suspicion of being this traitor, yes?
So far, yes.
Well, perhaps I can look into the mind of the Chosen we have here to see if I can find anything strange or suspicious. If only to give you peace of mind fighting alongside him.
Would that spell give him any inkling that you are doing that?
Maybe. Perhaps. But that, even if I were discovered, that would no doubt provoke a reaction in his favor or not. If he reacts extremely violently to having his mind roamed around in, that could add evidence of him being this traitor.
And if it's just a skid reaction.
But I think Deez is onto something. But
That could go
there's
so
one way.
wrong
There's
so
one way.
fast.
Exactly, which is why there's one way that we can improve that plan. Instead of plumbing deeply into his mind, read his surface level thoughts. We'll broach the subject with him and see if you can't catch anything strange.
It's a good idea.
Would you
But,
like to do this now?
Yeah.
He will be willing to come in and talk with you, with us, in here.
I feel like he'd be more willing to talk to us privately if this mission is successful. Because then I don't know.
Knowing after the fact would not be efficient. If he is this traitor, he would have a chance to act during our assault to retake your home.
You're right, this can't wait.
Straight
It doesn't-
would not survive that.
Well, all we have to do is bring the deeper thoughts to the surface. Put it on his mind. It doesn't even have to be anything damning. We could just mention the traitor. Anything suspicious.
Yeah. That seems the best course of action.
Diza makes the connection. We mention the traitor in passing. And then...
Yes.
Yeah. Does that sound good to you, Diza?
Yes.
Righto. Guess we know what we're doing next.
Yes. Suppose we've been sequestered for a bit enough. I think having a chance to collect my thoughts somewhat clearer, but
Yeah, and this chair is fucking uncomfortable, anyway.
yes, we should head back out for the sake of morale, I suppose.
They're definitely going to be curious about the noises we made.
Yeah. Go ahead and approach the door.
All right. Are all of you heading out back into the main area?
I mean,
Yep.
might as well, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Sweet. All right. Bear with me for 1 second here. Just give me 1 minute. I have to empty my tiny bladder. Like 60
I was gonna say I'm
seconds.
also gonna run to the bathroom.
Tea break!
Yeah,
Real-
give me
real
the
quick tea
5.
break.
I need to let my dog out and take a whiz as well.
All right,
Yep.
it's a 5-minute break then.
5-minute piss break. I can't feel my knees.
My ankles.
Hey, good morning, Kanye.
Homer Simpson!
What?
It's I don't know what he was doing, but he was definitely outside because that's the sound you hear in the beginning. But it's Trump just saying Homer Simpson.
Homer Simpson!
Oh, it's from his ice bucket challenge. That's what it's from. I did not expect Genesis to go, sure, yeah, you could call him a shit genie if that makes you feel better.
Eh,
But that's in my character journal. That's a person of interest. Rylock is now the shit genie.
in a way, he kind of has been.
Look at you.
But yeah,
Because he's essentially just kind of been giving us clues and leading us places.
yeah. I mean, the most beneficial thing he did was revive Cobweb, technically. But that's more of a function of the core itself.
Yes.
Oh. I have
So,
returned.
Welcome back.
Despite like our planning and everything, it still seems like with the massive buildings and then the dragons, flying seems to have gone out the window. Unless we still
Yeah.
want to try that.
Not necessarily. From what we've seen, the most of the Auroran Dawn forces seem to be ground units. Puppets pulled by psionic strings.
Yeah.
You get to
Yeah.
see any of their flyers, and they're the main antagonistic force at play here. The most flyers there are cosmic corrupted creatures that will attack anything. And in their crazed state, I imagine their perception has gone a bit down.
Yeah. I mean, I do like what you said before, especially if we go with the flying route,
Yeah.
that we get another small team that does the original pincer maneuver and comes in from the back on foot,
Also, to tell you how to
even if just to distract.
I do have a spell that will make a lot of people look like something else.
Seeming, yeah.
If you wanted, I could make the group look like us, and they could proceed on ground as a potential diversion.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, but now
That's a
that
good
we're
idea,
taking a
even.
Kodo, do we still have enough room with the flyers?
I mean, I think so. I would say
I thought the
two.
general
even
consensus
if
is
we-
now to go on the ground.
That's
Even
what I
if
thought.
even if we both, even if we decide to go on the ground, it's still a good idea to set up a second diversion as
Yeah.
yet another layer
Yeah.
of redundancy.
Yeah.
I also do plan to bring this up in character, but are you sure you want to bring a Coda?
I mean,
With this talk of traitors in a high position, we are only assuming that it is one of the chosen. A high inquisitor
Yeah.
could be just as likely.
yeah, I mean,
Holy shit! I never even.
She's very much a zealot, though.
You're
No,
right.
I know,
at
but
the
I'm
same
kinda-
time, what better position to put a traitor in than someone whose job it is to collect information on people and root out traitors?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and
that's
I
fair.
mean, I don't know, having the person, if we do think maybe a code is the traitor, being like, hey, sneak us into the city seems like a real great way to get us fucked.
Especially with her leading us.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
that seems,
and then-
I agree with Goat. Like if it's just us, I'm eating ice cream, I'm sorry.
You're fine.
If it's just us, we know none of us are gonna fuck around and find out with the intention of getting us killed. But until we know who the traitor is, we should not be taking somebody. Period.
That's true. Because then, just in general, their goal is the center where we're going. And
Yeah,
we just
like
be
we're
waltzing
gonna
in
take
with
this
one of them,
person who we
regardless.
don't know is the traitor or not. Be like, hey, lead us into the city, quote unquote, sneakily. Like that just seems like a real fuck around and find out to me.
Many things
well-
could occur. She could lead us into an ambush. She could
Yeah.
simply even just waste our time.
If that were to happen, it would definitely be on the forefront of her mind, and since you'd be able to sense that, I think it's a good idea.
But we are also assuming that this traitor is consciously doing so.
Yeah,
Hmm.
there's
Well,
always
an
the
and an
unknowing traitor.
inquisitor,
Our
as a
enemy-
job, would know how to hide her thoughts. She's not an idiot.
Exactly. Additionally, our enemy has shown a extreme efficiency in psionic shenanigans, being able to pilot constructs with only their minds. It is a possibility that they could have implanted something in the traitor as well, akin to a sleeper agent that is subconsciously following their orders.
Yeah, and that also brings in, if she was the traitor, why would they tell us a weakness, just in general? Like, I don't trust that weakness at all. Does it make sense that psionics can mess with psionics, but still.
Yeah, it's to see doubt and dissent if they're going down that route. Make the enemy second guess themselves.
Like, maybe she's not the traitor, but we're taking a giant risk if she is.
Exactly. Essentially, what I'm suggesting is we operate on the doctrine of better safe than sorry.
No, that's fair.
She may have to draw us a quick map then.
Mm-hmm.
Well, are we still gonna...
Still
is our
risk.
plan still the flying? Is that still what we're gonna go for?
I do suggest, after everything we've learned so far, is just us. Fly stealth.
Okay.
Though that's my opinion, and we are a group of 6.
Does anyone oppose this idea?
I mean, we have plenty of stuff. I mean, regardless of what route we take, the pass without trace and everything, that'll help.
And especially if we're flying, we don't need to worry about landscape obstacles.
And still have to worry about those monsters in the air that they mentioned.
Yeah.
Monsters in the air, monsters on the ground. We're gonna get hit either way.
Yeah.
At least if we're in the air and something happens, those of us who can remain flying,
Can
you
catch
guys.
the others and all that.
Yeah,
We can catch the others. We can try to, keep this as. I'm not gonna say risk-free because all of it has risks, but keep it from detrimentally harming people. But then let's get the people on the ground who need to be on the ground, and if we need to deal with the flyers, then the flyers can do that.
Plus,
Yeah.
also consider that we do have a time limit. The quicker we are,
Yeah.
which flying will provide, giving us a straight path, means less time for the distraction force to be in active combat. That means less casualties.
We can head right for that tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How far does Seeming have a range?
No, it covers people and
I don't know how it works.
Seeming is essentially disguise self for 8 hours.
Oh, on steroids. Got it.
That
yeah.
I can change the appearance of any number of creatures.
Oh, then
Oh wow.
then just cast it on us and make it look like we are, any of those other flying monstrosities that are around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot of us.
I mean, there's a lot of them too.
That's fair.
And then, are they really gonna have the intelligence to go, why is there a group of us flying?
Keep in mind,
Over
cosmic
that way?
enemies don't
Yeah.
purely target just humanoids. They target any living thing.
Yeah.
So disguising ourselves as beasties,
Ain't gonna make a difference.
yeah,
If they want to attack us, they're gonna attack
it
us.
would be better
Eh,
to be unseen entirely rather than blending in.
Yeah.
Oh, then would you be able to cast, like, major illusion over us? Of just, like, basically do active camo?
Well,
that's a good thought.
The plan was to upcast invisibility,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
I can,
I thought invisibility only targeted one person.
No, I can upcast it to 5th level. So let me see. That'll be 4 people I can cast it on. Casting it on myself, cast it also on Granite as well, due to the bond I have. So 5 creatures in total I'm making invisible. And there's going to be 2 more. Does Dagny or anyone else know invisibility?
I do not. I don't think I do.
Also, there is one slight hitch. If they have anyone with true seeing,
They're gonna see right through it.
They're probably gonna spot us.
Yeah.
Is the problem. And dragons. This is a bit metagamey, but dragons typically have a true sight within a certain range.
True.
Dragons are simply drawn to this place due to what's going on. They're not
Yeah.
a part of the Auroran Dawn.
Yeah, I'd still like them to not see me.
I mean, we can go in on foot, but I don't know. I just think flying in might be a little.
Going on foot, as I said, more obstacles,
Faster.
more time, more danger.
Yeah.
And at least
Yeah.
if we're flying and something happens, like, again, deposit you guys on the ground, gets people fighting on the ground, people fighting in the air, and I mean, we're gonna have to deviate either way, let's be real, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like on paper, the way that we're discussing it, flying seems to have the least consequences, but the consequences that it does present are slightly more dangerous, but there's still technically less of them. And we have a bunch of precautions, theoretically, just like falling and all that kind of stuff. We have more safeguards around.
Yeah.
Well, and what I want to know, because B-Man mentioned things fly, like they have flying creatures, are we talking like scattered, or do they have, or are there like so many flying creatures that we're going to be running into each other? Because then it is stupid, because then that's just going to cause so many problems.
From what it sounds like there might be heavy, like, clouds of them, but it seems more like it's just scattered, just randomness.
Yeah, I doubt that they're like swarming like flies, sort of. But
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Even then, we could just fly lower.
yeah.
Or higher.
What is this?
For the record, I am here. I'm letting you guys choose your next steps.
Oh, no, that's fair.
enough.
Yeah.
Also,
Fair enough.
continuing more on the doctrine of better safe than sorry, let's not tell people the nitty-gritty details of our plan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fair.
And let's see.
I have a question. Is this a thing to the DM? Is this a thing that we're thinking's happening like couple of hours, or are we talking about like we ride at dawn kind of thing?
So it's nightfall right now.
Oh, thank God, because I'm so injured.
Like it's early evening. So you have the night to heal up. You'll get a long rest, and then at the first crack of dawn is when this alleged plan is going to be executed.
Okay. Then on that note, where is it?
Also, keep in mind
I don't know where things are in my spells.
no plan survives contact with the enemy.
Oh, exactly,
Mhm.
yeah.
We are going to
That's-
have
thing
to
I can know.
adapt and think on the fly, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of unfortunate, though, if we're gonna, like, sleep before we do anything. The motivational speech stuff goes away.
Oh,
Ooh, I had
It lasts only an hour.
oh well.
I had an idea
It was a
there,
cool
but
moment.
now that I'm
Oh,
thinking
yeah,
about it,
definitely.
the logistics of that wouldn't even work.
What?
I was thinking we'd mislead Akoda into escorting a group of basically doppelgangers of us. And
she would know they're not us.
yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I figured.
How
I
far? Do we know
aspire-
how far Highshire is from where we are?
It's a good spell away. It's gonna because you're gonna have to because right now you're on the eastern landmass. You have to travel west, cross a body of water, and then you'll re-enter the Arcing Valleys, and then some marching later you'll arrive at Highshire.
Yeah.
Okay.
You imagine there's a plan of some kind in place for this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Alrighty, so I think we go and tell Coda then.
Yeah.
And then sleep unless anything else comes up.
But
Right.
just-
Yeah, and I'm sure she'll understand, you know, with there being a traitor in our midst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, just do you guys want to do that diversion force?
I think it'd
I
be
think-
smart.
Yeah, it'd
Yeah,
be
I think it's
smart,
a good
but
idea for sure.
Using seeming is probably a waste because I don't think they explicitly know, like, we are the guys who are coming for them. I think they just know it's an army in general, or they're just expecting or whatever.
Right.
So I think that's just a waste of a spell slot for you.
Hmm.
I don't think so, necessarily. Because the cartographer, Dagny especially, has been seen a lot by Auroran forces. And has come into contact with persons they deem of interest, like Obash.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
It's a
But-
solid
True.
plan. There's one hitch that if they are captured instead of us, that will basically allude to the fact that we are trying to get in. So at that point, our plan would basically be get in before they can
get caught.
muster up. Yeah, they can muster up a force to actually find us.
I mean, can we do the opposite? Could we sneak in and make it appear like there's an aerial unit going in?
I think that'll involve the same thing.
Yeah.
No, I know, but then I
But
feel
then
like it would take a
it's
lot.
us getting captured instead, technically.
Yeah.
That's sure we're likely to get caught faster on the ground.
Yeah.
Cobweb, you feel rummaging around in your bag, and you hear a metallic clanging. There's something that's trying to get out.
Oh, my
Tin
son!
Petty demands freedom.
Tin Petty.
he dumps out his whole bag on the table.
Oh.
All the things on the ground, and Tin Petty comes tumbling out. You see, he stretches his little mechanical arms and legs. You get the feeling that he's been kind of cooped up for a while, and he wants to run around and goof off.
Damn, dude, you've been napping for like a week now. What the hell?
He puts his arms on his, hips, quote unquote, and he just gestures towards the bag, and then the fastener on it.
Okay, look, If the bag opens from the inside, how am I supposed to... You know what, we'll talk about it later. Anyway.
He gives a kind of a dismissive hand wave and then runs off.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, they grow up so fast.
I didn't know about that.
Huh? You've never met Tin Petty?
No, we've never introduced Tiza to Tin Petty.
My Hagen, get back here! I have someone I want you to meet.
I have not met the Sentienstein.
Oh yeah, we found him not too long ago.
That's insane. This is your son?
Yeah, that's my son.
I just realized right now I could use all my spell slots and create 180 gallons of water.
Okay. Jesus.
That's a random thing to want.
But why
Geo.
though?
Can you make alcohol?
Why
much,
not?
Oh, hell yeah.
Thank you so much.
Aerithal, the slip and slide. Let's go.
Fucking-
Uh,
yeah, flood this place and then cast some fireballs, make it a big fucking hot tub.
bloosh.
Gosh, I was taking
That's
a
actually a
bath.
good strat for like a smoke screen.
Mm.
Something for later.
Mm.
Or
Though
just flood
I
the room
will,
and just electricity.
Mm.
after we are done with all this planning, though, B-Man, Aerithal will, get a barrel and just fill it with food and fucking water. Well, not food and water, but water.
You're just making a shit ton of water?
Why
mean,
not?
technically,
We need it because we're going to be
doesn't go
fucking
away.
marching. People are going to get thirsty.
Yeah.
Very
We're
well.
gonna keep.
It's true.
Yeah, that is
That is
I'm not creating 180 gallons of water, of course.
That is smart. Keep people's energy up.
Yeah. Essentially, I'm creating water for the march because the water doesn't go bad.
Okay.
If your forces are too tired to fight, you're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Amazon, just to reiterate, I did make this bag of holding. So there's an actual thing now inside of the significant objects for keeping track of everyone's shit because it's party loot. So now everybody has access to that list. I know you weren't here when I did that.
Yep.
I mean, you still have ownership, so you can write stuff in it. We can
Yeah,
just
no.
see it. Yeah.
Everyone has ownership of that. Actually,
Okay.
anyone can modify the list if they want to take something out or do whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got a lot of marching to do tomorrow. I suggest we get rested up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we gonna tell Blondie that we're leaving her behind, or today, like now or tomorrow?
Not it.
Nose goes.
Not it.
I've got no idea who she is.
Oh shit.
I mean,
Alright.
it's
Literally,
fair.
just everyone just looks at Dagny then.
I mean, yeah, she's your friend or whatever.
She's not my friend. She's a high commanding officer that I reported to.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's definitely your job then. You're subordinate.
Fine.
Alrighty. But still, like an hour later.
I'll tell her now.
Diza kind of pipes up. Would you like me to look onto their surface thoughts today? This Inquisitor and the Chosen? When questioned about the traitor?
I mean, I suppose we could do it with the Inquisitor. Just
Yeah, I mean, she's already going to talk to her.
yeah.
Seems like a safe bet since the traitor itself is the topic.
Yes.
Alrighty, with that being said, I'm gonna find a place to sleep.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I'm
Going to bed.
joining Dagny to go chat up some people and be
Yeah.
bird traitor detector.
Oh,
Mhm.
actually, I want to go see if anybody has access to cigars. And then I'll go to bed.
Yeah, Dagny just sort of puts the portrait of her mother back into the bag of holding before she goes and looks for a coda.
Okay.
Yeah, tagging along
It'd be
behind him.
plain to see as there's a gaggle still formulating things. People are taking this pretty seriously. So you'd see two of them are still here. Thistle has come to join them, seemingly as he's been mentioned for control of a praetor. And the icon of Zula that is here, one of them at least, is also in their wake. They are center of attention among a smaller detachment of people. There's a lot going on, but you can make your approach.
But
Yeah.
question: are you kind of opening up with this? Should I cast it now, out of character?
Well, I'm just gonna ask her to approach first, so we at least have a bit of. Because I don't want to just say it right in front of him and then be like, and have everybody in an uproar. I just want to save it to her somewhat privately.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and be ready. Try not to draw too much attention to myself. And when the time comes, I would like to subtly cast Detect Thoughts.
Yeah, I'll just kind of keeping my distance, and I'll kind of stand off to the side of the room, and I'll just sort of motion towards a coda. Just say, a word, please.
Of course.
And she, hand waves away the people talking to her, and she approaches you. Any developments?
Yes, well, we have a plan in place. We will have sort of the stealthy force going for it, but with all the talk of official being a proxy to the angel and the possibility of being someone who works in the pillar, I think it's best if you stayed with the diversion group and helped them fight.
Very well. But are you sure you want to go without any assistance?
I mean, if you can find someone who also knows the way, or if you can draw us a map that's easy to follow.
I can supply directions into the rough area. I would be going off of memory, so it wouldn't be clear, but I can provide that.
If you're willing
You
to
sure
write
you
that
don't
down.
want an attachment of Shire Guard? Even an icon?
Are you seriously going alone?
I mean, having anyone of high note may just be... It's hard to tell with these forces. Like, some of them can detect things from such a far distance. And if they sense that if you, or even if Sadris was to go with us, they would notice that someone of importance was missing from the front lines and is with us. And there's just so many variables. It'd be best if the patrol did it on our own.
I understand what you're saying. But bear in mind that if you don't make it alive to the seal, all of this is for naught. It would be Sadrius who actually is nearby, and of course, like, he's within earshot of this. And he does speak up and kind of interjects, like, hand-waving a coda, seeing, like, the ranking system.
I was going to consider offering my own guidance. Are you sure about this? From the standpoint of organizing forces as we have been for the past 6 months, this is particularly risky. These enemies are smart. They're human and they're cunning.
I'm gonna try and just kind of 1 second glance at Diza while they're talking to me.
Okay, and Diza, explain your intentions here?
The intentions are pretty much I'm reading the two of their surface thoughts throughout this conversation, subtly detect thoughts.
Okay, because there's V, S, and M components to this spell, mind you, and as I understand it through the block here, either way the target knows that you are probing into its mind. So there is no being subtle about this.
Yep.
You're casting a spell, and it's going to. And he's.
That's only if you probe deeper.
I thought it was
Okay.
also if they failed.
Let's see. You can read the surface thoughts of creatures. When you cast a spell in the action, you focus on a mind. If the creature's smart enough, you learn it. You learn the surface thoughts of the creature, what it has in its mind in the moment, like a conversation. It's only if you probe deeper that they make a saving throw. And if
Okay, so you're just stopping at surface thoughts.
yes,
Basically, what they're trying to do is strike up a conversation that would bring up thoughts of being a traitor.
yeah, like literally
Yeah.
questions verbally directed at a creature naturally shape the course of its thoughts. So this spell's particularly effective as part of an interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty much what I'm doing with surface thoughts, that's completely undetectable unless they're like psionic masters and know everything.
All right. So you're in a very crowded, close quarters area, and you're waving your hands for somatic, your things with verbal. So you can attempt to be stealthy about this. I'm gonna say, if you want to try to be subtle about this, being like the corner of the room per se, like wait for an opportunity. There's no like sweeping eyes. You can just roll.
I
You can roll
imagine
stealth.
I could have perched somewhere high up, out of sight, out of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm imagining these on the ground. I imagine they were perching up.
I'm factoring that in. Yeah, you have the mobility, and Dagny is giving you a distractive window here. So if you're gonna proceed, just make a stealth roll. We'll go off of.
I will
passive.
give Disa my inspiration.
Okay, so just roll stealth with advantage.
Oh shit! Ooh!
Oh my god, you have
Can I use
Plus
my own
11?
inspiration or no?
That was already with inspiration. Wow, you're really fucking lucky because meets it beats it.
Oh.
You, as you go up and perch yourself high among these golden rings. And some people pay you mind at first, like, oh, it's the bird thing again. But there's so much on the table right now, in a literal sense, that soon eyes are falling off of you as you just appear to be at rest. And you wait till a particularly loud moment, and your spell is cast. Needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
No, they don't. That's only if I
Mhm.
go deeper. There's no save for surface thoughts.
It's telepathy until they decide to look deeper into their mind.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh,
if you probe deeper, the target must make.
Yes.
Okay. And we're going for surface thoughts here. So, Dagny, how was your conversation with Akoda and Sadrius proceeding? Basically, like, even like Thistle here has some concern in his body language, as does like all four of them here. Are like, is this what you're doing here? Are you sure?
Yeah, just to make sure that this sort of works, she's just going to say, I know that a lot of you believe that it's hard that we can do this on our own, given that you've worked with us so closely. But who's to say that you might just not be using us just in order to get beyond the veil and get what you really want?
All right. And let me give him one roll here. And Disa, you're looking for surface thoughts within Sadrius. And
Coda, kind of swapping between them.
Okay. Well, you start with Sadrius, and you see that there's initial thoughts of worry that are on his mind. The announcement of 26 going alone. And you can feel that there are thoughts back to the past 6 months and some of the worst that he's seen. And he thinks about a lot of good, strong people that have been killed in entire companies of Shire Guard on the front lines. And it's more so him beginning to question the wisdom of, if not the group, at least Dagny herself. Very judgmental. And after the comment of what you really want, with the insinuation of a traitor, there's a spike of anger that arises within Sadrius. You can tell that he did not like that. Switching over to Akoda, there's equal concern on the thoughts of success on your travel, just the 6 of you. As Dagny speaks, you can see that she's pretty clean of letting emotion sway her judgment. And you do see that she does have a modicum of agreement with Dagny, although the concern remains. And she feels like there should be at least something to help the group, but it is a bit more on the understanding side.
Okay.
Daddy just kind of stands there looking at the two of them, waiting for a response.
Dagny. We have something of a history. I know it's not much, but your suspicions, while they're not unwarranted, going alone unprepared without numbers into a war zone is asking for trouble. I don't know much about this trader business, but I insist that you at least have some form of help. At least someone who's been on the front lines.
Then point them out to me. As
And
long as
you
it's
will
not
do.
you or as long as it's not you or a Coda, I cannot take the risk.
Would you take one of our icons? Perhaps the attachment of Shireguard elites?
Do you have anyone less conspicuous?
These are the people that have been fighting on the front lines.
Can he at least disguise himself? He sticks out like a sore thumb.
Who are you talking about?
The icon of Zula.
Oh, right. Sadrius scratches his head.
Yes, we can have that arranged. We can get something in place, I suppose. I just...
Sadrius, listen well. What lies under that seal is quite powerful. I would say even rivals the power that was in the keystone you found in the High Crucible. Who's to say what would happen should that seal break and you are in its presence? Remember well how you were swayed by the Keystone's power.
I'm less concerned about the aspects of being in the presence of the seal, and more so on how this accusation of a traitor is fragmenting our trust in one another.
Like it either, but
Perhaps that was the true design of having an inkling of there being a traitor. Just look at it. Our most important assets are going alone. Were it up to me, I would choose a similar approach. That's how you weaken your enemy without so much as drawing your blade.
looking at Disa again?
Yeah, spell's still going, and if need be, I'll recast it if time runs out up here. Throughout this conversation, I'm pretty much zeroed in on who she's questioning with this.
Which would be Sadrius. Gotcha. Now, Sadrius in this moment has a bit of a strange disposition towards Dagny. You think that his confidence in her has been a bit shifted. And he's pretty hard in his ways. He definitely is concluded that he needs to convince you guys that this is the course of action. And his thoughts about this, the kind of thing that someone who's a traitor would want, you're not sure if he really believes that himself. You feel like he may be trying to lead to him coming along, but it's a bit of a mixed bag. There's not just one thought going through here. He's getting a read of the room too, if that makes any sense.
It does.
Essentially trying to talk Dagny off a proverbial ledge.
If you can arrange for a good disguise for the icon, then we will take him instead.
I'll also check out the icon surface thoughts now that the kind of attention and possibility of him with us is cropping up when I have the chance to.
Okay. You're going through the thoughts of the icon, and his thoughts dwell on Zula, on how her design fits into everything that's taking place at the moment. And there is some equal uncertainty, but he is definitely on the side of Sadrius. And he seems almost immediately convinced that the people of Patrol 26, those the Cartographer Corps, are in no way soldiers and don't have the faintest idea what they're talking about. You can feel that he's seen a lot of loss as well. And you do feel that Okota shares the sentiment of loss in addition to that. It's kind of unanimous if you're flipping with her and even Thistle. Yeah, so yeah, the icon is effectively, mentally fully backing Sadrius.
But yeah, I suppose as Dagny is kind of wrapping things up, and she'll glance at me subtly sometime, as she mentioned, I'll kind of give a nod that we're kind of done here. She's done.
Very well then. If you can make the arrangements for the icon, it will be done. For now, I shall take my rest for tomorrow.
You would get a nod. Okota gives you a mirroring nod as well, and they go back to their business.
I'll suddenly get out of there.
All right.
I'll kind of head like towards outside the war room and sort of motion for Disa to follow.
Yeah. After sneaky beakying away, not drawing attention myself, I'll kind of blend back into the crowd and then follow after a bit.
Okay.
Just gonna find like a little niche away from the general public so that she can talk with me.
You would have your opening.
Well,
There is only one thing that was of note that could be seen as suspicious, though it could also be as easily seen as indignant to being suspected of such a thing. The chosen Satrius, there was a spike of anger upon the question of what he truly wants. Though, as I said, that could easily be a spike of anger at being accused. Beyond that, all four there have loss on their mind of their fellows who fell fighting alongside them. The Inquisitor, her mind is very tamed, organized. She does not let emotions sway her. In fact, she is in agreement with you upon us going alone. The Icon agrees full-heartedly with the Chosen's words and suggestions. He believes from his experience that our cartographer team is ill-prepared for this fight, that we are not warriors and soldiers like him.
spoken like a true soldier. That is why he is an icon. The reaction from Makoto does not really surprise me. She's not the type that's quick to anger, but she's the one who always asks questions. And so, to glean that she had understanding of why we are choosing the way we choose makes sense.
Yes. We do not have enough here to make a definite judgment, unfortunately.
Either way, better to be safe than sorry. The Icon Azula will be the one to lead us, should they find ample disguise.
Yes. If they cannot do that here, I could do something to change how he looks, should the need arise.
See no problem with that.
Are you well, Dagny?
I'm fine. I think I just have a lot on my mind.
It's understandable. So many distractions and noises coming from all sides. I do not need to look into your mind to see what you're thinking about. It's displayed on your face, in your body movements, as well as in your eyes.
Am I really so easy to read, Disa?
Yes and no. You wear your emotions on your sleeve, I think is how you say. But your emotions Emotions are strange, ever shifting, ever changing, and there's so many at once as well. Like rain. Or perhaps a storm.
It definitely feels that way. It's mainly thinking not just of myself, but beyond myself. Those I'm working with and those I love and care about. Think about my father with my stepmother and Elijah underground. I think about my two little stepsisters who are in the care of another person. And I think about my brothers that were possibly on the battlefield, not knowing where they are. But more often than not, I think about my mother.
From everything I have seen, with you and the others here, even before when I first laid eyes on humans and how they exist, I always found this love to be the strangest thing about humanity. How something so esoteric and fleeting can have such a profound effect on who they are, what they believe, and what they do.
It's a very powerful thing, love. Some say it's powerful even than the magics that are able to be cast.
I do not mean to offend, but I did want to ask a question.
And that would be?
I'm uncertain of this, but from mentions you have made, you were born wrong, yes?
I suppose you could say that, yes. I was of somewhat weak constitution and my legs didn't work very well.
For harpies, when one of us is born wrong, like you were, they are usually killed and eaten very shortly after they hatch. That was the case for one of my siblings. When I was born, their wing was very wrong. It could never fly. So our mother slit her throat with a talon. And then me and my other siblings ate her.
Such is the way in the animal kingdom.
I ask because couldn't this also be seen as an act of love?
Yes. It'd be better to die a quick and painless death than to suffer until the end of your days.
Would you have ever wanted that to happen for you? When you were born wrong?
Dagny is just sort of deep in thought for a moment before she responds with, I will be honest, I have thought about that many a time. Why I suffer the pain I do, why I can't breathe normally like my brothers do, why I can't run around and play with the children outside. But I found solace in other ways. I could see that though I suffered while being inside, that my family still cared for me. They found other outlets for me. My brother, he would take books from the Highshire Library to bring to me to read. Was a very voracious reader. Would read book after book. So I almost read everything that could ever be read. And with a desire to actually learn more, I decided to learn the ways of magic that my mother learned before she passed. And even now, ever since I just joined the Cartographer Guild, it has always been for a thirst for knowledge, a thirst to learn more, to learn everything there is to know, even if it's not meant to be known. Yeah, that catches my attention. Looking to see where that's coming from.
You look overhead. There's no questioning it. You see the Auroran dawn streaking overhead, high above your heads. There seems to have been a break in the cosmic energy waving overhead, and it looks like they've taken full advantage. They're heading straight back towards Osora.
Parsharin, please don't let Osora fall. Let it be around long enough for Elijah to see it.
You would look at the moon, and it does seem to be pretty high up. It looks like the stress of the night is allowing time to pass a bit more quickly than you were anticipating. It's around midnight at the moment.
I think at that point the fatigue of the day is just getting to her. I suppose we could talk more about this in the morning.
I understand. Thank you for telling me of this. For what it's worth, I'm glad that you were not killed at birth.
Dagny very slowly approaches Disa, and she just kind of wraps her arms around Disa's neck and just kind of holds her close.
Have I offended? Are you trying to choke me?
No, this is a hug.
I see.
You can wrap your wings around me.
Yeah, Diesel will do that.
You don't realize how warm harpies are.
In the distance, all you hear is "oh."
Just rolls her eyes and then pulls apart.
Yeah. Did I find anybody to bum me a few cigars or something?
You did. You found
Okay,
someone
cool.
who was far off, one of the roughnecks that's settled in outside in one of the tents. It looks like they make their own makeshift cigars out of whatever materials they can find out here, and given that everyone seems to be sharing resources and is being a bit open with one another given what's coming next, you have no trouble getting your fill.
Hell yeah. Alrighty. Now I go sleep.
Yeah, I.
'Cause we're gonna
go
need
ahead.
it.
Yeah, I break away.
Passes out with a lit cigar in his mouth.
Yeah, I break away from
Honestly,
Decent. I
yeah,
go find
probably.
a place to sleep. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Beam.
Yes, Erithal.
Uh, is there armor that like spare armor around? Because I was wondering if I could look for maybe a breastplate. Because we're being the stealth group, I want something a little less jingly than scale mail.
Oh, I see. You're looking for like a decent set of like medium armor.
Yeah, the only reason I named breastplate is because I know breastplate doesn't give disadvantage on stealth.
I thought it did.
Nope,
No,
it's
it
the
doesn't.
only medium armor that doesn't.
Let me see.
Oh.
Oh, right. You would ask around, and
Oh,
given your
yeah.
status, and especially given that you have had a lot of influence over these people given your speech, there would be a small detachment of survivors. It looks like some of them are Shire Guard, or at least formerly, their Shire Guard outfits have been retrofitted with other plates, and they do rummage through their things for a little while. And one of them says, "I'll have to give me about an hour's time, and I'll make you up something nice. You're going to be on the front lines." And
Is that something I could get to, possibly? Because he does make sense.
And
'Cause I have
just
scale
to
mail as
make
well.
it fair, I will trade them my scale mail.
gotcha. I'll drop it directly into your inventory, but he happened to have on him it looks consecrated in with your affliction to Zula. It's plain to see. This is +1 breastplate armor.
Nice.
Aw, hell yeah.
No check needed for anything because you've motivated the hell out of these people. It's in your inventory.
Gonna
Nice.
unequip that. Do you want me to delete the scale mail since I'm giving it to him?
Yeah, you just delete that.
Alright.
All right. Jax, though, I imagine you're trying your hand at that.
Mhm.
Yeah, basically same thing. I'll trade him my armor as well, if need be.
All right.
Just for the lack of disadvantage, if anything.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Given you don't have the influence that Erithal does, trying to bum one off of someone, given your appearance and all things considered, maybe a little bit more challenging, but you are affiliated with the cartographer group, so you have that going for you, which is something. Roll persuasion.
Ah.
You're
Okay,
proficient with
where's my-
persuasion.
You fucking
I am?
aw.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, son of a bitch!
He pulls the light-skinned stare.
Ah. God dang
Sin
it.
City wasn't made for you.
With a bit of your own suave convincing, puffing up your chest a little bit and exercising your importance of being with the Cartographer Corps, a shiny new spat of breastplate would come your way. They don't even ask for your scale mail.
Hmm.
Sure, cool, yeah. Awesome.
I added that to your inventory for you.
And equip. Unequip.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very nice. There we are.
Hey Nadira, we won't be fucking up the stealth skill checks for the group anymore. With
You should
disadvantage.
that.
We might
I
still
don't think I
roll a
ever
1.
did, though.
Yeah, you're right. That's my job.
Well,
do not manifest that shit.
Erithal, with you being in proximity to one of the chosen, in addition to your speech, you feel particularly enlightened. And I imagine at some point you're going to be simmering down in your own corner. The side rooms have been cleared. It looks like they gave you your own areas, as it looks like most people are outside for sleeping purposes, barring people of importance as well as yourselves, so you would tuck yourself away in a little corner ready to get some shut-eye.
Yes.
peasants sleep in the dirt.
What's your passive perception? 22? Oh my god.
Went up.
Jesus. Alright, I imagine it's trying here. 1 second. Damn. You settle yourself into a corner, and with this sense of enlightenment, your senses are particularly perked. And there's a subtle rustling that's coming from a cabinet top overhead. You look up and you see Tin Petty is stationed high above a bookcase. Looks like he was getting ready to dive onto you or do some sort of trickery. You're not sure what, but you look up and he would notice that he has been spotted, and he kind of gives a bit of a disappointed throw of the hands.
Like, ah!
Yeah, off he would scatter back towards his dad.
This is no fun. Dang
You
it.
get his wallet? No, you blew it, dude. Come on.
But Aerithal, this sensation lingers. Roll religion with advantage.
Ooh.
Religion.
Religion.
Rolling.
Mm-hmm.
I have the power of God and anime on my
Oh.
side.
Oof.
I mean, guidance.
Sure, you can do guidance if you want. There's no reason
Alright.
not to.
Mm.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay, then.
Hit the D4 on it.
Yeah, it'll add to the...
Oh, I can just. I can. Oh, hey.
Oh,
Oh, that's now a 17. Well, okay, this changes things.
Oh boy.
Really, guidance doesn't get higher as you level up?
nope.
Mm-mm.
I guess that makes
Cantrip.
sense, though.
Wait. I wonder. Is it only with spells that? Yeah, it's only spells that do damage. Oh well.
I need to put that back. There we go.
He had it ready.
Your thoughts linger for a little while, and there's a lot going on. With all those accusations on people you've looked up to, you're particularly troubled, perhaps more than anyone else on a fundamental level, and you look towards this new radiance within you for guidance. And with you passing a check, you try to think on ways to get an edge, things that may be able to get some sort of inkling or just some sort of lead before committing to going back to your kingdom, especially almost completely alone, barring one icon that's coming with you. You know this is dangerous, and you feel like you can maybe find something out. And with time, your thoughts would dwell on something that has been in the back of your mind for a little while. What the fuck?
What the fuck?
No. Fuck was that?
What the fuck?
Whatever. That would be the member key. It's been kind of a rogue element through everything that's been happening lately, and especially with Zozros. You try to think on it, and are you going to be like pulling it out at all, or is this something you're keeping to yourself?
He's pulling the key out.
The teeth on it are gone.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
There's no teeth.
It's gonna be.
Well, now it doesn't go in any door.
It's gonna be in
Or-
from now on.
Hmm.
You have a thought that, yeah, maybe this doesn't go in any door, but maybe it goes in any door.
One of life's biggest mysteries.
I mean, we need all the edges we can get. I need to get the edge. I'll. If anyone's around to see me do it, I'm not specifically waking anyone up, but I'm putting it in a door.
Yeah, there's a door to this room. Has a lock, of course. And you curiously would just put this in the lock and give it a twist. There's a spark of this purple energy that seems to fill into the lock, and within a matter of a second, this energy would trail the length of the door frame while it's closed, and the door itself pulses and shudders, and there's this miasma that begins to leak off the edges. It's changed a little bit.
What did the devil do to you?
And I presume you're gonna be opening that knob.
Door open. Door not stuck.
Oh, this fucker again.
Hello, motherfucker.
You open the door, and it doesn't lead back out towards the outer room. It leads into a familiar shop, the Thought Pocket, as you would oddly remember the name.
Thought
The
Pocket.
door's wide open, and you feel a presence from within this giant vat. And before you even step in, you see an eye roll into place, and then a body along with it. The Recollector greets you. And he would speak.
Eat it.
Huh? Oh, oh, hi! Wait. Name. It was Arathal. Yeah, I was half convinced you were dead. I'm glad you're not.
Ah, well, thank you. It
Yeah,
has been-
welcome back. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, there was a guy in here beforehand. It was actually kind of recently. He was a real character. He kind of talked in this weird like cadence, and he had this infernal to him. He was demanding, but in like a charming way.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, you can come on in. I mean, like, you have all the time in the world in here. Like, really, all the time in the world. Time doesn't really pass here the way the stuff does.
Earth'll step in.
Yeah, so, how are ya? What's on your mind? I'm really bad at starting conversations. I was kind of hoping you would like jump in and kind of take over for me. I'm kind of bad at this.
The whole High Shire. The plan for taking it back. And possible traitors.
Woo! Yeah.
Angels and demons complicate everything, don't they?
Oh, you could say that again. If all of the things on my, whole shop business is any inclination, enough memories seems to paint a picture of the bigger world. Being in here all the time, that's kind of all I got. But yeah, I know what you mean.
I suppose those memories are how you pass the time to not go insane.
Who said I was insane? Because they're right.
Ah. I'm there. God damn it. Sorry, just collecting myself. We made a deal
Yeah.
a while back.
Yeah.
And now I'm heading into a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
And I need all the help I can get.
Okay. So you want something that can help you, right?
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. Wow, you're kinda off your rocker a little bit after the first encounter, huh? Memory's a funny thing, isn't it?
That it is.
How about... Okay, I don't often do this, but I think for my purposes, this might be a nice little way to spin the things on the table. Okay, I'm bad at like analogies, so I'm just gonna stop being an asshole and actually say it. So, I could maybe give you a partial reimbursement. Am I using that word correctly? Who cares? some of there's some really juicy stuff which it gave me, and there was a lot of it. I could maybe give just a fraction of that, so you have some more of the you knowledge that gave you a whole lot of stride back then, and you can give me something less important as like a trade-off. You feel me a little bit? I mean, you're talking about angels, and I got something for you. So, what do you say?
Fuck it, sure.
Cool. Okay, so there's a sliver of that original memory, just the stuff that doesn't make you insane. Not a fun time, I'm speaking from experience, and fuck you for judging me on it, but I will give you a little angel bit thing that I think might be useful if you're going back home, because it seemed really interesting when you gave it to me. In exchange, here's the kicker. With this particular type of information, we often require something that has equal personal value. So, in layman's terms, you get a little bit of angel something for you, and you give me all recollected knowledge and memory of someone you love.
Fuck.
I mean, like, if you're gonna go into, the big scary place and just die, I mean, it wouldn't really matter anyways, because, well, you're not gonna remember anyone, because, I mean, you're dead. But, yeah, that's kind of the going price for something like this.
I imagine immediately so far, immediately are his parents that come to mind when it comes to this type of deal. As aside from that, he doesn't have much connection to the party that he met basically, a month ago? 2?
About, yeah.
These might be the party members might be comrades in arms, but they aren't people he got to know. Whereas his parents are people he's been with his entire life.
You're not my dad.
Which parent would you rather lose? Ooh.
I don't have either, and I killed one of them, so it's, yeah.
Maybe father, because he could just plant the memories that you never knew your father. Your mother only ever said that he went out for milk one day and never came back.
Oh, but he spent so much time looking for his... Oh god, he never asked about his mother. Oh my god. You child of the year.
It's up to you.
A sigh. Been so long looking for him, only to forget about him.
Well, for what it's worth, the last time you lost a memory, it really kind of liberated you a little bit from all the squibbly wibblies in your mind. It's not like no one's ever made this deal before. You can't miss someone that you don't know. It's actually quite merciful. Yeah. I don't know how families work. Look at me.
Well,
but yeah,
memory of my father. Maybe it'll give you some insight.
One thing I will diverge. I can't actually say who it's gonna be, because if I say who it is and then you take it and you forget who it is. Remember what I said? Memory's kind of a funny thing. It's I could try to tell you, but it doesn't really work like that,
It's fragmented.
Sure, yeah. Well, let's just go with that. If it makes sense to you, then sure.
All right then.
So, what's it gonna be, Knife Ears?
I'll take your deal.
Cool. Give me a second. I have to make preparations.
You see an empty bottle would float into the center of the room from a far tucked away reach, and a cork accompanying it would also follow suit. There's some magical incantations that begin to leak off of the glass from the bottle, and it surrounds this floating vial. It looks just like the same process when you had memory plucked from you the first time. And boop, bop, shbop. Okay.
There it is. Just gonna do a little bit of this and then that. Put a little bit of. Yeah, that'll do. So, just put this nice and close to your orifice of choice. The ear tends to be the least tingly. Some people prefer the nose. Either of those. Straying from that, well, you're just asking for a bad time.
But
Imagine. No, no.
Alright.
Arathol, take it and put it near his ear.
You feel a very weird waft would go through your mind, and for a moment you totally forget where you are and what you're doing for a second, but only for a moment. It snaps back and you still have your mental faculties, and before you even realize, you look over and you see the last of this white, almost rainbow iridescent substance is floating through the air, which came out of your ear, would spiral into this bottle, and the cork would cork it off. And you see a pleased expression on the Recollector's eye.
Ooh! See, these kind of memories always have this weird shimmer to it. See that? I really like that. It's just a little bit of like a show. You know? You gotta enjoy the little things in life.
Arathol, you survey your minds. You remember your father. You remember your mother. You remember the party. Nothing really seems out of place here.
Who the fuck did he take?
That's the question, isn't it?
Mm.
Oh no, I've signed a contract without reading the details.
Well, he told you memory was kind of fucky.
I
Anyways.
searched for that warmth from Zula.
You remember in perfect clarity the blessing for which you had attained through speech and proximity to the Chosen is still there, and you feel as sharp as ever. There really doesn't seem to be anything missing as far as you're concerned. But if you really want to check, I'd say you can make a intelligence roll.
Oh no, I'm dumb though.
Worth a shot?
Isn't that trying to remember something you forgot? It's okay.
You can add guidance if you want.
The thing that's wrong is I can't remember what I've forgotten.
You're more so looking for anything that seems out of
That's
place,
a
like
9.
holes.
4.
But so you're specifically looking for holes in your memory.
Yeah.
And you think over everyone that you've loved. The list isn't terribly long, and like everyone's accounted for.
Ooh, I know that look. Look, I told you, you can't miss what you don't remember, you know? You follow me?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
See? That wasn't
Never-
painful at all.
wasn't painful, it's just strange sensation.
Yeah. You gotta enjoy it, man. But don't get too into it. That's really weird. You get banned from my shop if you do that. Well, I can't actually ban people, but like I wish I could. Oh, don't get me started. Anyways, my half of the deal. Yeah. Let me just... I kind of have to do something for this. Just give me a second.
He begins shifting around, and eventually a bottle would be drawn, and you see that there's a lot more magic that goes into this. And there's a flash, and one bottle becomes two. There's a small bottle and a large one that results from this split. The large one is deposited back onto the shelf, and the small one slowly drifts over to you. And he gives you a bit of a one-eyed wink.
There it is!
Won't give me a name, but it'll give me a hint.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do I do what I did with the memory extraction, or?
Well, you just kind of like uncork it and then just like tilt your head back and like it does the rest. It's gonna feel like some slippery fingers.
I'll be but
Okay.
Very well. Aerithal will do that.
You do so. And this ethereal extracted memory, at least a piece of what you once lost, returns to mind. You're filled with sensations of panic, fear, and anger. Something that left you on the battlefield during the day of the siege. You watch as a colossal heliostone humanoid shoots your pillar and everything goes white. You watch buildings, people, and parts of your kingdom get flown into the air and sent rocketing back. There's a haze afterwards of you collecting yourself, scrambling to your feet among the rubble that are still able to stand up. And you do what you can to try to help those who need it. There's avatars everywhere. And there's seemingly little direction on how to even help everyone. You know that you simply can't help everyone. Eventually, you come across a detachment of Inquisitors. 3 of them. You never got their names, but it seems like most of them, as well as the elite and everything else, had been summoned back towards the advancement path of this Praetor. And they instruct you, very simply, to find Patrol 26. There's just so many people to help, though. In your good nature, you continue to do what you can. Fight where you have to, and move forward. You would see that chosen Leonidas would be fighting along the front lines. And just as avatars surround you, he cuts through and fells all of the foes that were going to quickly end your life. He saved you this day. And he gives you much of the same direction. Find Patrol 26. You take it to heart, and over the course of several hours, you begin your search. There's a lot of word that's spread around. Eventually, you would see a Coda too, who gives you all the same directive. You look over, and people are thinning out. Days would pass, and it seems like there's no sign of any of them. Just in your exhaustive search, you feel like you're ready to give out, but there's a certain radiance coming from above that just lets you keep going. You don't need sleep. You're not sure what it is, or if it's just sheer determination, or what. And then, you spot something wafting through the radiant air. You are alone at this point, but it sends a shiver of dread down your spine, and you follow it. You take well-to-do cover, and you see something descend from the sky. An amassment of wings with eyes and a radiant halo surrounding it descend to the earth. You see these wings part, reach for the ground, and scoop up a few humanoid shapes. Something in your mind tells you this is Patrol 26, and they're being abducted. Off it goes.
No.
And off you go in pursuit with it. You run.
What?
Past the wall.
No!
Out of Highshire. And things get fuzzy after that.
What is happening?
The only thing you can remember is those wings, those eyes, and that ring. It's the last thing that you remember before the remainder of this memory simply reaches a torn end.
Oh, I know that look on your face. You are not happy. Sorry.
Petrovic lied. He didn't find them at Highshire. He left Highshire. I need to talk to Dagny.
Okay. I guess I'll see you around.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Have fun. Yeah.
Aerothel's going quickly out the door.
What?
I need to hear the betrayer soundboard.
Oh
The
my god.
betrayer.
Play it.
What a bombshell. Holy
Oh my
shit.
god!
I love that we
Hold
just
on.
woke up and we're like, yeah, we totally trust this guy.
I'm only gonna do this once.
The betrayer.
Fuck.
Oh my god.
He wasn't missing because he died. Oh god.
Yeah. Once Aerithal gets back, he's
What the
shouting
fuck?
for Dagny.
Hackney, it's plain to hear.
What? What's
the
going on?
Petrovic lied.
What?
You were never at Highshire when he said he found you.
What? Why
The
do you say
reason-
that?
Aerithal will hold up the memory key. A deal.
Collector, you talked to him?
I just thought that we needed all the help we could get. And a deal was made. I remember bits, just enough to not make me insane. I remember the wings and the eyes, the ring around it.
Angel?
It was an angel that abducted all of you. I followed it, and after that, the memory goes fuzzy, which I assume is the point that I lost my mind. Idravok said he found you guys in the ruins of Highshire. You were abducted. And when I followed, we were nowhere near Highshire.
Where were we?
Forest.
And to be clear, when this angel scooped them up, they were essentially by Highshire's outskirts.
The outskirts. No, he didn't just lie. He changed the story.
We were.
He put you in that stasis. He must have.
Said it was wings with a ring around it?
Yes, and I will describe the image that, to the best of my knowledge.
You would do so, and Dagny, it's a dead ringer in description. This is the angel that you had experienced for yourself when you were in the hells.
That angel didn't just break through, it was coming for us!
Idravok knew. He knew we were
He's a-
getting close.
What?
That's why Genesis couldn't find him.
At that point, Dagny is gonna sit up and, like, remembering the last thing she saw. The last thing she saw was this angel getting ready to fight against two pit fiends, essentially.
Yep.
So she's just gonna try because she's gonna go ahead and try and cast Sending and see if she can contact Idravok.
Ooh. Yeah, it would go out, and you feel a mind on the far side connect, and the line is open.
Can I sense which direction?
I don't think you can per the spell. You just know that it's out there.
Idravok? Where are you?
Is that it?
I will say, Genesis said he couldn't find you. Where did you go? How did you get out?
It would go out. There's a pause, and it comes back.
Dagny, I thought you all were lost. I animated stone and escaped the isle.
Yeah. She's...
Do you wish to insight check this?
Yeah.
Earthfall,
figured
if
you would
you'll
want to.
allow B-Man guidance,
Sure. Yeah, you're next to her. You know what's happening.
just click the D4 when you're ready.
All I'm
Oh
hearing
my
in the back of
God.
my mind is just the betrayer playing on loop.
Oh my lord, that is the fourth time a 4
Jesus.
has been rolled on this.
This
A
this
D4
episode
today.
of Desolate Creation sponsored by the number 4.
Okay, that's a 16 total.
You take in his words, and there's a bit of a chill that you feel on your skin. It's clear that he's lied to you before. And there's nothing stopping him from lying now.
Yeah.
If he did escape on a stone, then why didn't Genesis detect him nearby? If Genesis can detect things within an interdimensional soup, then how would this make any sense?
Okay. She's kind of thinking about, because she wants to choose her words carefully for this next one, because she's going to use the last 3rd level spell slot she has for this. But yeah, she's going to do this again to Idravok. And she will say, somehow I knew you were hiding something. And now I know all that I need to know. Betrayer. Killer.
Your words go out, and for a long time there's no reply, and you feel like your spell is about to end. But at the last moments of your incantation, something does come back.
Listen to me. Do not approach that seal.
Yeah, like, just instant terror, like freezing up, and she's it's shallow breathing, but it's shuddering.
Shit pan.
Erythol. You were right. You were right.
B-Man,
Yeah.
is there an open space that has about a 10-foot radius
Yeah.
that has nothing in it?
Center room's got plenty.
Fireball.
Erythol just looks at that point, and I don't think any of you have ever really seen pure hatred on his face as he just lets out this angered scream as he just
Damn.
Flashbang.
Oh, damn!
Oh my god.
Well,
Oh.
if you were asleep before you're awake now.
There's a sudden uproar coming from Erythol as his eyes glow white and his hands glow a fiery orange. Everyone's very alarmed.
Erythol,
fool.
what do we do?
We make him fucking pay is what we do.
Cowboy walks out with a sleep mask on.
Idravok? Idravok is...
The traitor.
What official was he, though? I don't think I've ever remember hearing that name. Akoda. I need to talk to Akoda. Akoda!
She's already in the room. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, Dee's looking around like, what the fuck? Is there
Akoda.
enemies around?
Tell me what's happened.
If I said the name Idravok, would that mean anything to you?
She studies her own mind for a moment and just shallowly shakes her head. Not off the top of my head. If I had the records, maybe I could look something up. What does it mean?
Fucking traitorous ass motherfucking bitch.
He was the angel. When we first met him, we were in a cave not too far from here, a mine network. He said that he found us, and he took us in. We were in stasis for like 6 months. Erythol has recovered a memory.
I remember the day the colossal Helios shooting the pillar, trying to help as many people as I can, the detachment of the Inquisitors, the elite Shire Guard, you telling me to find Patrol 26. And when I found them, they were in the hands of an angel being abducted, taken far from Highshire. Idravok said he found them in the not the outskirts. What did you... fuck. It was within the ruins of Highshire. They weren't in the ruins of Highshire. Not in the form we know him as.
Idravok was in disguise. He's the traitor that we were looking for.
How did you ascertain this information?
Idravok came with us to the Isle of Contempt. We had to leave him behind for safety in case we went back, but extenuating circumstances we had to vacate the Isle immediately. Unfortunately, we left Idravok behind. Genesis went back to try and stem whatever temporal miasma was getting out of control, and we told him to look for Idravok. Idravok was nowhere in sight.
Not even sensed.
I just cast sending to him to ask him where he was. said he managed to escape by animating a stone. And I figured if that were true, then why did Genesis not sense him on this stone? Why did it take so long? Why is it taking him so long to actually get back to here, to this war room? If he is really who he says he is, then why hasn't he shown up? And so I accused him. And his voice completely changed to something that filled me with dread and horror. The same thing I felt in the presence of an angel.
Oh, that's why he couldn't link up to the cartographer core.
That's why it rejected him.
He's not human.
Everyone else would have entered the room by now. And you watch Akoda's face finally break, and rage fills her expression. And you see her grit her teeth. By Zula's wrath! I'm sick of this! This all needs to end at first light. Now it's going to be coming for all of you. Now we can't afford to have you on your own.
But what it does mean is that we can trust you, Sadrius, everyone who was in suspicion before is no longer.
You all are very resourceful. You've done what none of us could. Now that this bullshit is taken care of, we can move forward the way we should be. We need to work together. That much is clear. At first light, we are charging towards our home and taking it back. We're keeping the icon in your stead. I can accompany you should you have me. We can take a company of Shireguard Elite as well for bolster defense. I can find a way to make them all on low profile. You can worry about bolstering yourselves. We can have a split team. We can spearhead. You can follow us. We know the route. You can follow as you see fit. If you see a threat, if you feel uncomfortable, then do not approach. We will be able to keep an eye on you, and we will reassess the way you see fit. Clearly, all of the attention is on you. And I'm losing my patience.
Akoda. And she just kind of gently touches her hand, Akoda's hand, and just looks up at her and says, "I'm sorry for ever sowing the seeds of doubt."
No. You were smart to do that. Had you not, we never would have made this discovery. Either way, the game has now changed. You need covert protection. We move forward as planned. We're now fighting two enemies. The Auroran Dawn and all the associated hostilities in Highshire, and now the advance of this angel. Surely, a Praetor moving towards Highshire is going to get its attention as well.
Yes.
I'm going to have all of the Shireguard Elite on march tonight. Icons included. We so much as see a feather in the sky, we are going to war right here and now against whatever descends.
Yes.
Yes.
Men, move! Formation, now! And you see the Shire Guard are on the double.
I think at that point, Dagny just kind of looks Arathal in the eye and without even thinking, she just hugs him.
That warmth that you felt originally with Arathal, you don't feel it. And he's just staring forward. And if it were possible, it would look like his eyes were engulfed in flames.
I don't think she's really looking at your face. She's just kind of...
No, that's poor flavor for the other people who are there.
Right. But yeah,
Akoda already left the room, by the way, as did Sadrius. They're making arrangements right the fuck now.
Yeah, she just kind of hugging you tightly, and she just says, in sort of a low voice, low enough for you to hear, Erithal, is it bravery or cowardice to say that I'm afraid?
That depends. Are you still acting in that face of fear?
Yes.
Then it's bravery.
I'm so
Looks
scared.
Looks like the man of the cloth finally found his edge as a cobweb punches him in the leg. Good going. We got everything we need to burn them down. But until then, it's 4 a.m. I'm going to sleep.
Seriously.
Jax never woke up.
I imagine you passed out by the fire somewhere outside.
Oh yeah, no.
Frickin' sprawled out, snoring.
Oh, 100%, dude. Dude sleeps on in bushes in the Undershire, on the ground, in
Uncomfortable
parks and
anywhere.
trees. Dude, he'll sleeps through anything as long as it doesn't touch him. Then he'll wake up.
I don't want to sleep alone.
Cringe.
I just heard the fucking Pornhub drums. Boom.
Oomst.
All
You can
right.
sleep in my bunk area.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be
Don't be
suspicious.
You're welcome.
Ah.
Erithal, the D is silent.
Oh.
All right. I presume everyone is going to be huddling up a little more close to chest to take rest for the remainder of the evening.
Yup.
I did
Sure.
want to do.
Yeah, finally.
I did want to do one thing, if that's okay.
Hopefully it's quick. Go ahead.
But more of my usual shenanigans. But this time there's more to it. Given that Jax didn't fucking wake up, I did want to cast this on him.
Oh no.
Let's take a look here. What does it do?
Did we not learn last time?
I guess not. Let's see. Target's asleep. The messenger appears in the target's dream and can converse with the target as long as it remains asleep through the duration of the spell. The messenger can shape the environment of the... Is the messenger you, or are you creating a facsimile?
I suppose it's either or.
I suppose you can choose given your abilities.
But yeah, pretty much just what I wanted to do is cast this spell, kind of see what the fuck he dreams about, but then pop in and let him know about recent events so he's informed when he wakes up. You know what I mean?
Cool, so I'm gonna take damage when I wake up, though?
No, that's only if
Yeah.
No?
If it's only if it's monstrous.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just see the damage and it was like, come on, what the fuck?
It doesn't damage you.
They can choose for it to basically make your long rest a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Verbal, somatic, and material components. All right. So, and like I said, I mean, like, sure, like he's sleeping outside, but I will reiterate again. This is a big group. Like, there's people around, and there's Shire Guard all over the place now on very vigilant watch, including the watchful eyes of a Chosen and a Coda and multiple icons. So, if you want to do this, you will once again need to pass a stealth check to do this subtly.
Okay.
You sound confused.
I don't think they need to touch the target for this.
Yeah.
Yes, but verbal, somatic, and material. You're waving your hands around, going, "Oh, of course you got that!" And like, there's a big fucking like. It's not quiet casting spells.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also just tell me in the morning.
but I want to invade your privacy and see how your brain works.
Okay, Apple.
I mean, you could draw the nearby people away.
Okay, yeah, fucking. I'll go perch up in the fucking rafters and, wait for an opportune time to do this. And
He's asleep. He's sleeping outside, like I said.
I don't need to see him or be near him. It's on the same plane of existence.
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
It's a 5th level
All right.
spell.
I will say, in the dead of night, you will have an opportunity. I really want to keep things moving here, so no stealth check. Just go ahead and make the wisdom saving throw, Jaxel.
That's... actually, let's just skip the whole fucking thing. I don't want to waste people's time. Just skip it.
I mean, if you give me the Spark Notes version, we can still do this.
It's fine. Just skip it.
Okay. All right.
Never mind.
So-
just trash the whole thing.
All right, if you insist. Okay. So it's 11 o'clock. I have a good block that can take us probably a good hour. I would like to take a break right now if you guys are down to do that, because like I got stuff, man. I got a lot on the plate here. So I'd say 5-minute break right now, and then unless I'm hearing opposition of any kind, we'll continue playing for roughly an hour. It depends on how I don't care if we go late into the night. I want to know how late you guys want to stay up.
Midnight would be my max.
Buddy,
Yeah.
I'm up till 4 a.m. every day, so.
Join the club.
I'm off
All right.
tomorrow, so it don't matter to me.
All right, we'll shoot for 12. Let's take a 5-minute break,
Eat.
and then we will move forward.
I wanted to see if Jax was the second betrayer.
Disa, the dream demon.
Like, literally, this spell lets me be Freddy fucking Krueger if I wanted to. Like, I could just straight up start killing people in their sleep if they have, like, little hit points. What does a commoner have? Like, fucking 5 hit points?
Yeah, about there.
I could just straight up become a fucking serial killer.
Or a crazy dream shaman, one side of the spectrum, the other,
Yeah.
Yes. Thus begins Aerothal's evil arc.
While fucking Dagny's sending is like a good text message, this is like a fucking Zoom call.
Essentially, yeah. It's 20, because sending is 25 words or less, so.
Yeah. Whereas this, I just keep fucking talking.
Yeah.
With visuals and everything.
Yeah.
Some gaslight people.
Okay.
That means you can, when someone falls asleep, you can beat them with a stick in their dream for 8 hours.
Yeah.
just hitting them with like a fucking stick. Shame.
Who are you?
Shame. Oh, it's the fucking spoon serial killer from that video.
Where's Scarecrow?
Hey, good morning, Kanye.
Okay, now it works.
That's a cool flavor text. I really like that.
Oh yeah. I'm just making sure it like functions properly with my hexblade shit.
Drown in your blood.
Water sword, go stabby stabby. Yeah, I feel like it's working as intended.
Because it's Dex plus your proficiency plus your charisma?
Is it adding my dex? Where does it say that? Because it shouldn't be. It should be
Well,
adding just my charisma.
I'm seeing 2 plus 4 plus 4.
So then it is not functioning correctly.
Because one of those 4s is your proficiency.
Yeah.
Here, let me see if I can.
Let me check on using this.
Alright. When does Aerithal get the power word kill the party?
Okay, that's
Okay, that one's like that too. Okay.
It's 1 plus 4 plus 4.
The betrayer.
Oh my god, bro.
Boy, I never even suspected him. That's crazy. Even after the core blew him up.
I mean, to be fair, it does make
Nice.
sense.
Yeah.
But remember all that time ago when we were talking and you guys were like, "Yeah, let's bond him," and I was like, I don't know if I trust this guy, and you were like, "No, he's fine."
And it seems you were right in your assessment.
Jesus
Let's see if
fucking
that
Christ.
changes it.
Who the fuck just ate a chip?
Sorry, that was me. I'm eating apple slices.
All I hear is
Crunchy apples, nom nom nom.
I will divulge one thing. Like, ever since the start of Act 2, I'm like, I wonder how long it's going to take them to get this reveal. And I'm like, wow, they don't... Wow, okay, this whole thing went over their heads. Alright, cool! I'll play with it!
He only studied us
Aerithal with
while
the
we were
memory
on
key
Hogwarts.
after you push him. Oh.
Dude,
Oh,
I've been trying to get you to use the fucking memory key for the past 20 sessions! Oh my god!
Jesus.
Better late than never, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Also going to assume
Also-
this is attuned now.
Now the party can go. Introvok.
Bruh.
No!
You fucker.
Aerithal makes a perception check to look for Idrovok. Idrom.
I can fucking smell you. Smells like bitch ass in here.
Okay,
Alright, is everyone here?
Yep.
Okay.
We will
Okay.
continue moving forward.
patch me.
I like having people all having their ducks in a row. Alright.
Did we get long rest without interruption?
Yeah, you all long rest without any further issue. You are among some of the highest levels of safety you've had in some time. Yeah, it's Eagleberg, yeah.
Inkoberg.
Alright. Give me a second. I'm prepping a good number of things here.
Alright, I'm gonna need this. I'm gonna need this. Probably this. I might need this one. You also get your hit points back. Okay. Put you up here. I think those are all the ones I'm gonna need.
The following morning would come. There's troubled sleep that would befall each of you, but by some miracle, thanks Zula, if anyone, that you are able to get a full rest in. A few quick housekeeping notes as the crowd is amassing come early morning. Cobweb, you are approached at your possession of that iron thrower. There are a number of survivalists that have encountered similar technology there is 17 bolts that they have in their possession that they're willing to give to you, seeing as
Poggers!
We're back in business, baby.
Yeah!
seeing as the undertaking that you're about to put onto your shoulders, they're all the more accommodating.
Oh, I could kiss you right now, but I won't, because I'm a man. God damn it!
Don't. Yeah, just give them hell, okay?
Yeah, yep, all 9 layers as he.
In Cobweb, you do feel the strength of the Abyssalith in that spidery vein protrusions that you had initially felt. It seems that the lifeblood from the previous day has bolstered them, and you feel your abilities equally ready to go.
This would be awesome if it wasn't for the sudden onset ego death.
There we go.
I suppose he'll go to reconvene with the rest of the party. Hey guys, do you guys sleep well? Probably not.
Enough, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a loud boom and a lot of yelling, but nobody woke me up, so I assumed, yeah, nobody woke me up. Probably wasn't important.
Yeah, about that. So, we found the traitor. Well, found is a strong word. I guess we found out the traitor.
It was revealed to us, yes.
Alrighty, so when are we gonna get him here so I can start pulling off fingernails, breaking fingers,
Let's see, they're in
removing eyelids, all that kind of stuff?
Well, that's the thing. I wouldn't even know if it has fingernails. It definitely has feathers, though.
Oh, even better, one by one.
And multiple sets of eyes.
Oh, even better.
And a ring around it.
On the topic of a ring and feathers, a figure would loom overhead and would land in front of the party, and you get a bow from this icon, and he speaks.
Well met, cartographers. I have been dispatched to assure your safety, retaking our kingdom. I will protect you with my life and my faith. My name is Lysander Yerikorn.
Lysander, how much do you bench?
Cobweb.
Enough to do what needs to be done.
Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear.
I trust you to do well in your duty, Lysander.
To the best of my ability. Till death set me from Helios. I'm not afraid to sacrifice myself, knowing what it means to protect you in the coming conflicts. Zula will guide my blade, and if I fall, I will join her radiance.
May it be.
Victory or glorious death on the field of battle. And then we are agreed.
Right you are. Plus, the presence of this praetor, as I understand, can resurrect the dead, so maybe dying isn't so much of a bad thing anyways.
It won't be so much of a caveat.
I'm gonna be honest.
Speaking of which... No, finish what you were saying.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't recommend it. Anyway, go ahead.
Speaking of which, I should speak to Thistle and see how he feels about taking control of the praetor.
He has approached the area for which the praetor resides. He is awaiting one of you as a proper introduction to his responsibility.
Right. Cobweb, Erithal, if you'll follow me.
Very well.
Start making our way to the chamber where the praetor is.
I'll come with, if only to telepathically call my horse to help them down expediently.
That you would. And you summon... Fuck was its name?
Granite
Hollyfuck.
Granite Hollyfuck is called to present.
Oh, Granite. Go ahead and crawl my way up on its back.
Mhm.
I will ask Granite. Granite, did you enjoy the food they gave you?
You see it whinny, and it just tilts his head like, huh? Food? It seems to be the only word that it picked up, or cared about, rather.
Mhm.
We'll talk about food later. Let's head on down, okay? Just kind of rubbing its withers while I'm saying that.
It does appreciate the attention, and it seems to understand you in full.
Gonna have Granite lead us down towards the chamber.
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty much just hop off the cliff and drift down.
Yep.
Okay. Give me a second. I should have preloaded this, but no, whatever.
Eh.
You're fine.
We would all head outside. And your forces are being amassed. You're up pretty early considering the responsibility on your shoulders, but it seems as though some are up even earlier than you. Maybe some didn't even sleep. You know the Shire Guard certainly didn't, as you see them making their rounds, and they are taking post and have committed to it in full. You can see a similar trait to all of them. Their plate, their metal, their weapons, their blades are all battle-scarred. However, you do see that for the few that do have their helmet removed in preparation as they're receiving a few bolstering prayers from Sagrius, that their skin and their actual bodies are in immaculate condition, almost a faint radiance to each of them. It seems as though what had been said from Sagrius is true. Those with clerical persuasion seem to be bolstered. To the assistance of Holofak. Wait, there's 2 Dagnies. What the fuck?
Yeah, there were 2 of me. I was about to say, wait a minute.
Doppelganger, kill it!
Let me say, is there not 2 of anybody else? It's a fake!
It is
Alright, there we
fucking
go.
one of us.
Everyone is making their preparations. Ogres have these war mounts. You can see arrows have been sharpened, and mages are reciting final practices. There's a good group of about 140 in total between everybody. 150 including Shire Guard and key figures. And on the wings of a Pegasus, you quickly descend to the area for which the Praetor of Perseverance would stand. There you would see Thistle looking up at it, and Akoda would be next to him. Seemingly, like, just by the body language, it sounds like Akoda's giving him a pep talk. And you would land. Thistle would notice you, and he removes his helmet and gives a bow of respect, and you can see his unhelmed face clearly.
It's good to see you again, Thistle.
Yeah,
Never
what's
had
up?
any doubts.
Dagny, you...
It seems as though you have given me a large responsibility. One made of Heliostone.
It is, and quite powerful at that.
So, how does it work?
Well, I think Cobweb and Erythal can give a better explanation than I.
The catalyst. You have to climb up to it and touch it. If it finds you worthy, it'll let you pilot it.
Then let's hope that I'm worthy for all of our sake.
I wouldn't really worry about it.
Definitely gotta be careful of cosmic waves.
Oh, for sure. That was the subject I was about to broach, as a matter of fact. While the Heliostone body of the Praetor is infallible, utterly indestructible, the connection that you have for it is limited. It will give you proof against mundane arms, but attacks of a more incorporeal nature will give you trouble. It's going to be tough to avoid those, but if you can, try to step on things before they blow up.
I understand. I have become keen on their tactics. They do seem to adapt just as we do. It seems that there's some human traits to them, as a matter of fact. Unfortunately, they are very human. But I wouldn't still be alive after all this time fighting without reason. I trust that that is because I was meant to serve a larger purpose for something bigger than myself, and I think I found it in the most literal sense. Thanks to you, of course. Wouldn't be standing here assuming this responsibility if it wasn't for your judgment.
I know you will do well.
The same goes for you, Dagny. We've survived so much.
Yeah.
Have you seen Garruk at all since the fall?
I mean, in the time when we were teleported towards the rotting waters, we lost track of him. I tried to contact him, but it couldn't reach him, so he's either stuck in between or on a different plane entirely. I couldn't say where.
I see. Well, I choose to trust that the steps that you've taken that are in one capacity or another for the same goal as us.
Yes.
So, the path that we walk on behalf of him. On behalf of everyone, really. I feel like that's what it really means to be part of the Shire Guard, is understanding that.
I do it not only for the living, but for those who have fallen.
So you do understand. It seems that the steeled emotions of your brothers are well placed in you.
You've seen them.
Not in some time, I'm afraid. Either way, we're going to give them a warm, safe kingdom to return to.
Till they'll be much troubled when all this is over.
And it will be over eventually.
It has to.
Yeah. Sadrius wasn't kidding. We've been brutalized. It's a nightmare. But in the same vein, it's a good thing because nightmares have endings. And I feel like ours is nearing its own end. I will see to it. That's my promise.
Hold to it.
And with that, he gives a nod. And Akoda backing up and giving him his moments, he would begin to climb.
I would go ahead and kind of click my tongue for the Pegasus, granted, to go ahead and trot over, offering to ferry him up safely. After all, that would appear a lot more noble riding a Pegasus rather than clambering up this thing.
He looks over to you before putting his helmet back on, and he gives a smile and a bit of a dismissive hand wave. That's quite all right. If I'm going to accept this, I need to... I feel like this is just something I need to do. Not any disrespect.
There is none taken. If anything, I understand. You have been battered but you remain unbroken.
I couldn't have said it better with my own words. I can see why they keep you around.
Just kind of pat Tisa on the head.
With that, he begins his climb, putting his helmet back on, and it's a bit of tension as you watch him climb this very large and imposing heliostone body, the same way that some of you have. And eventually he would arrive at the Soul Catalyst, and there's a quiet of the crowd. It looks like him assuming control of this Praetor is the war horn that they are all anticipating to signal the beginning of the warpath. And as he makes contact, there would be just that. The white flame atop the Praetor flares to life, and it begins to move, and this war horn, as it were, echoes throughout the landscape, can be felt through your bones, and echoes into the tritoral landscapes. Truly, this was the mark of the effort to reclaim Highshire. Formations are taken. Chit-chat gone. Everyone is ready. Your icon friend, Lysander, would fly by your side. Some Shire Guard elite following close behind as Akoda takes position along with them and gives you a nod. The Praetor begins its march. The warpath to reclaim Highshire has begun. And for the party, you have a Pegasus to mount, or should you march with everyone else, you certainly can. You have a few Shire Guard Elite, the Icon, and Akoda at your disposal.
Yeah, I'm jumping on Granite.
What are the
Alright.
odds for resting again before we get there?
Well, if you're going to be hopping on the back of a Pegasus, you'll have some time to be at rest on its back. You imagine it's going to be at least an hour.
In lieu of getting on the Pegasus, Cobweb is probably going to march on the ground, if nothing else but to feel the footsteps. They're sort of like war drums to him. He's sort of working himself up into a frenzy.
I'll get on the Pegasus with Dagny.
I'm going
Alright.
to Echo Swap move up just to hang out on top of the Praetor. That way we can be ready to do our fly-in plan.
All right.
Arathal's walking.
Everyone takes their positions and joins the warpath. Round of perception rolls from everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Fuck.
Arathal's angry seeing.
I see everything.
Where's that bitch ass motherfucker's Idravok?
Casual 32, good lord.
All right. Those are some pretty fucking good rolls. Not to mention that you have quite the amount of people around you that are all hyper vigilant. You look around and there's small detachments of additional lines of soldiers across this group of a total of 150. And you march forward. The Praetor takes point, and there's nothing subtle about its march. There's the unison clamor of armor that falls in a cadence, as many of them are used to this sort of thing. And with checks like that, you look overhead, it's plain to see cosmic energy is in full swing. There are these tendrils of this white fizzing energy that is just lapping overhead. The tips of these pretty steep, spiked mountain structures are seemingly mingling with it, and the heliostone they're made of shimmers very unnaturally. It's unsettling to see this. About a half hour of time would proceed itself. And there is one thing that is heard over the colossal march of the Praetor. Yet more. However, this detachment would mingle with the cosmic energy and is summarily destroyed. Looks like the Auroran Dawn isn't as organized as you were expecting. At least so it seems. Say it's a little loud. Turn that down. There's a very palpable silence among everyone marching. Prayers have been said and incantations have been cast, but as everyone marches forward, ready to fight with everything they have, despite the noise, no one seems to be talking. That does leave the floor open to you if any of you want to speak as the warpath continues.
I imagine eventually Cobweb would sort of look over at Aerithal before looking back and going,
I look around and I see all these men of the cloth, marching as if they're soldiers. What a time to be alive.
During this time, I don't think anyone else has a choice but to be a soldier.
Yeah. They watched us, and they saw how we lived. Now let's show them how we die.
I prefer to show them how painfully they die.
Fair enough.
as he continues marching.
Edgythal.
I imagine Dagny is just kind of riding at the front of Granite while Nadira is behind her, and she's sort of kind of holding on to the mane of Granite for a bit, and she kind of looks back at Nadira and looks like she's about to say something, but then she turns back around.
I lean forward, because I imagine there's wind interference and you probably can't hear me. I lean forward and I just kind of say into Dagny's ear, because obviously that's the only part I can reach.
Hey, little mama, let
I'm
me whisper.
regardless of what happens today, I'm sorry for everything.
She'll kind of turn around and say in Nadira's ear, I'm sorry I ever judged you.
Can't say I didn't deserve it.
I mean, after you attacked me with that spell, I was a bit on the fence about you then.
Still can't say I didn't deserve it.
You've lost people as I have lost people. In some ways, we're both hurting.
Let's not lose each other.
She just holds out her pinky.
Aww.
Pinkies!
I'm sorry, but I have just the perfect soundboard for it.
Bitch!
We're two bitches on a unicorn, get fucked. Technically a Pegasus, same statement.
Yeah.
I like to imagine the praetor says that. Gay.
This moving, echoing
white
voice.
flame quivers. Oh my god.
Face the
Within
rainbow, bitch.
Yeah,
Within an hour's-
just with our pinkies like linked, I say, let's dust these fuckers.
I just nod my head in agreement.
Within an hour's time, you arrive far west, and you would hit a body of water that is considerably deep. You imagine it's maybe only a half mile in width, if even that, but certainly going to pose a significant challenge before you would see Sadrius would direct many mages up front. And you kind of feel as they move, proximity to these mages, you feel like they've been quickening everyone's pace, as if there is a mass form of long strider that is affecting everyone uniformly. As you do have a spring in your step that none of you really seem to have noticed for those who are walking. It seems like they thought this out pretty clearly. There would be a total of 12 of these experienced casters that all form this line, and they all uniformly cast this spell that hits the water as these large waves would part, and this huge ravine that cuts into the ocean would move, giving you a nice dry warpath to continue marching. They cover the bulk of the warpath, and due time, you're able to cross. The Praetor sinks a good amount into this wet sand, this wet mud, but doesn't ever break his stride. Seems like Thistle is a natural at this.
One of them better be named Moses.
I was just about to say let my people go, but yeah.
Crossing the other
Staff,
side.
you will do my wonders.
You leave the tritoral area behind and enter more familiar ground. Cosmic energy is still lapping overhead as you can see it ripple through the clouds. But now that you're on the other side, there's an alternate source of light that seems to influence these rings, the hallmark of your homeland for which you are fast striding back into. There's a glimmer of golden light that seems to be hitting these heliostone rings. Undoubtedly a sign that you're becoming closer and closer to your radiant kingdom. You look up, and you don't see them, but you certainly hear them. Echoing through the valleys. There's some large activity, and you imagine the thunderous footsteps echoing through said valley is all of the warning they need that you're bringing hell to their doorstep.
Go ahead and pop this. Do.
Ain't nothing ever gonna break my stride. I got to keep on moving.
Let me see. Cool, you can use it in tandem with your circlet,
Yep.
I think. Yeah. You don't have a shield.
15
Perfect.
plus dex.
You're eventually reach at a point where the formation changes, and you see the Praetor diverge further south in an arc around. It seems like it's going to do something of a parade to make itself known and garner attention before storming the kingdom and its associated path as planned. And it begins its tail off, as most of the distracting force would follow along with it. Sadrius looks to all of you and gives some parting words. And this radiance, as you've gotten closer, you see the halo he's wearing intensifies. Looks like he's bolstered as he was in the front lines.
Everything comes to this. Everything. I know that you'll find a way to reclaim our home, to venerate Zula, to make a difference. We're all tired of being on the losing side of a war that changes today with you.
Make him pay, Sadrius. And give chosen Leonidas my thanks.
Of course. Today we demonstrate Zula's wrath. Show them no mercy.
Off he goes. Which leaves you in the company of Lysander, Akoda, and 6 Shire Guard Elite.
All right.
Akoda looks to everyone and addresses the party. Alright. As mentioned, we will take points. Myself, Lysander, and the Elite will form a brief formation. We'll keep a low profile, as should you. Follow our lead.
Understood.
We'll be looking over our shoulder. Should you suddenly need to tail off, fly off into the air, do whatever you need to, we'll take notice. We'll act accordingly. We may be in front, spearheading, but you ultimately have control. May Zula be with all of you.
May Zula be with you as well.
She nods with a stern expression. They take points, and everyone follows. The further and further you get towards the outskirts of High Shire, the brighter and brighter the sky becomes. This is your final moments before this truly begins.
B-Man,
Yes.
seeing as the Radiant did affect Sadrius, does it have any effect at all on Aerithal?
Coming closer within the next half hour of cutting through this mountain, you can feel the radiance. Palpably so. And you feel just as empowered as you were last night, but there's this constant source, as though the longer you are in this even indirect light, you seem to feel increasingly ready for whatever comes your way. You're more steeled than ever. And you gain 22 temporary hit points.
Oh,
Nice.
As for everyone else, you do feel a bolstering, as if you've woken up and your senses are heightened and you feel your body steeled. Seems like this affects everyone. Or perhaps, in light of recent events, your openness to Zula has changed, even if only subconsciously. And as a DM notes, while under the effects of this radiance, all short rests are considered long rests.
oh shit.
Okay.
That works.
Okay.
Giving that contact is pretty much imminent. Cobweb is just sort of looking straight ahead with his jaw set, but in his hand, you can see him thumbing the bristles of a broken brush.
Ooh. You continue. Akoda's company takes lead, and you're a good 50 feet off. And the icon is in the air, having an aerial advantage. And eventually they arrive at the precipice of the mountains, lining the edge of your kingdom. You would follow them and close the gap, as they have actually come to a stop. And you witness the sight they are taking in themselves.
Whoa.
Holy fuck!
Why are you calling him? He's right there.
Whoa.
So that for sure wasn't like that when we left.
No.
Guess what they say is true.
Everything that lies before us is ours. It's our birthright. And it's been taken from us. No more of this. If I am to make a sacrifice today, I won't think twice.
will take no more from us. As I'm going to walk up to them and
Whoa. Who's that being cast on?
who's fucking Inquisitor
Akoda.
White Akoda? Yeah,
Okay.
I knew it
Inquisitor
was something
White
with an
Boy.
A.
Yeah, there's a lot of names.
Inquisitor Shaniqua.
Shanae.
You bolster
What?
her, and the death ward takes effect, gripping her form. And she gives a bit of a smile to crack the stern look she has. Are you ready?
Let's get our home back.
We'll rest here for just a moment. Wait for the sounds of conflict. When we hear the distant footsteps of that praetor, we shall begin. Say your prayers now. Everything comes to this.
With that being said, if we have like a slight pause
Yep.
because I was trying to figure out if the math was correct on the tide cutter. For whatever reason, I'm unable to roll it now.
I'll look at it later.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if we were going to start some sort of it's dumb but combat of some kind or whatever. So I just wanted
Nah,
to
not yet.
ask that. Okay.
So everyone would take a knee and wait atop this mountain range, taking in the sight of Radiant Highshire and awaiting the sounds of combat to begin, serving as your signal. We will end the session here.
Oh my god!
Ah, fuck!